Crab John knows that feeling. They're happy.
So, can we just turn the TV on? So I feel like I tell you what I'm doing something wrong. So I came up with Corey's going to come on and we got all this ass on and I came up with a card of QND style 90s MTV celebrity death matches. One of the best ones in reaching out to a lot of people, the name that most common name that came up was Ray. Shocking. The most common match was Ray versus Mike.
Should be a classic.
Which I know, Ray's in the ring, swinging a golf club, doing like the old TT, you know, and all of a sudden here, Ray turns around, Martin clocks him upside the head with a transistor radio, lunges him, Ray's down on the ground.
Oh, with the box of nachos.
Next thing you know, Mike is on the bike, riding away, and just runs right over his head, sending it in the crowd.
Ooh. How's that for a week fest?
I said, it's not sports related.
I got it. Alright.
Child care, yeah. Right there. Any questions on what you do?
Your guys' Facebook discussion last night. Just you two going on and on.
Chad, Olivia, pictures that's coming out. What do you do?
Run.
I don't do diapers. Oh, I had a handicap match because their sister-in-law, Monica Hinton and Rhonda Jensen, versus the ninth. No, they're on the same team. Versus the ninth winner Kevin Cat. The Ray Carvis, John McGrath. Not be shown, dude. Special guest referee. Yeah. Wow. Due to legal complications, that will not be seen. Just get a big reception that box. And I was going to have a hair match, but I had to change that one too. Scotty D versus Eric Owen. It was originally going to be a hair match because they would always rub their hair when they rip all the hair off.
Right. No hair anymore.
You'll get a kick out of this one. The biggest heel turn since Andre the Giant.
Uh-oh.
Fred Bloss versus Dwayne Preston. Dwayne's coming out, British Bulldog style. England versus Germany. British Bulldog style with Chewy leading to the ring.
You really thought this out, haven't you?
Over like 2 drinks at the Abbey last night.
More than 2. No, just 2?
They were doubles.
Okay. Par for the course.
Fred Bloss is out in a brown German suit, not a Nazi uniform, just a brown suit.
Right.
Checking his heel. No, he's back now.
What we should do here. Correct the point, yeah. 82.
Okay, ace the punter.
Yep.
Okay, is 82 kick off?
No, 15.
You said ace the punter.
Ace the punter, 15 will kick off.
Okay, 15. This guy's point after. He's point after.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Okay, so he's the kickoff. 15.
Yep.
Okay, what about like long snap?
I have no clue on that.
Okay. Oh, that's good enough. We got that down. 8's the punter. Okay. Point after 82 and the kickoff 16.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
Of course.
All we can do is try.
That's right.
And act, if you act like you're right, no one can catch on.
Right.
Except for the volunteer that finds out that you give 100% credit on it.
One person you'll hear.
Legendary.
And then they proceeded to have 5 stars. But I won that battle. Okay. Those Tootsie Rolls are still in the bag. I won that battle.
You got it too somewhere.
There he is.
Right, correct, yes, correct.
Get them all introduced for child care. We get them jacked up on sugar and set them all.
It's pre-Halloween. Work.
I was just waiting to hit the halftime show.
Wearing me out with this.
You got to admit that Least one.
Lisa was good. Fucking Loche versus Last. English competition. That was pretty good. That's. But I read them off to my Canal for cooking or halftime or whatever. You know, Canal cooking or whatever. Cooking with Canal.
Spanish announce tables.
He was.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot that.
So Ray's freshman year. He needs to clean his class, so it's not anything to do with fingers. I didn't know they were lotions. You know how they have the lotion? So Ray can't see the words.
How are you? You're looking for 25 and you know what? Yeah. Not accurate. Right down there. You want me to get him up here? I got you. Okay. He's good. Should be here any minute.
He's a Michigan fan. So Ray can't see. And Mark said something. Ray never heard what he said. So next thing Ray is lying in a headlock goes, what did you call me? What did you call me? So I put that to Star Wars last week, man, or whatever. You were the master. I was the leader. You were the master. Now I'm the master.
That's hilarious.
I wasn't even here.
Somebody said that was the year of cell phone. You know?
Back in the day.
Hey, 3 Tootsie Rolls in there. I gave you a Tootsie Roll last time. Did you eat it? That's not true from what your dad said.
Corey. Officials.
No, this is one that didn't make it.
No, they're not. I've heard both.
Monica Hinkley, Ronnie Jensen, was the ninth wonderful
Okay, so if you want to write that down, so those girls are probably Yeah, Morgan Sanger.
I can't replace him.
Caitlin Brown.
I will replace him.
And Alyssa Lee. She's single deal. Girls golf is the same. Okay? The girls golf is the 90-man football. Meredith never been. It is Meredith, isn't it? Meredith's still with us. Meredith Everton and Bell Boudreaux. Advanced. They've advanced as individuals. Bell Boudreaux. Boys golf team. They have advanced tomorrow. They're sixth. They are at sixth currently. Bo Epstein is number 5 in the state. Can you write that down a second time and get it over to Mr. Somehow.
I can get him in, and he can just give it back.
Or he can take a picture of it, maybe.
That was the one that fell off.
No, Will took Dad home safe and sound. Got a real Indian fan, so they haven't had much to cheer about. 80 years, 100 years.
Right.
That was a shock. Tired. I was in locker room. There was no doubt.
I don't even follow baseball.
He's on my favorite team.
No doubt. Yeah. Somebody has to Good to see you, Tom.
Where was he coming from? Southern Indiana. Okay. And then, or Tennessee.
Oh, well before that.
Yeah.
Talking about Bruce Pearl? Oh, yeah.
Bruce Pearl yells.
We were playing
Yeah, exactly. Why is it good for anybody?
forgot they lost the
Literally, it's just go like that. And knock out. Knockout jab. Oh, jeez. And hide behind him.
And I'm in between those two.
Right. Here's a trick question. How many times has Lincoln made the playoffs? Did you do your homework? Last year, they made the playoffs. First time since 1984. 1975, 1984, and
'Cause a lot of excitement.
Good evening. Welcome to 10th and Jackson for Quincy Notre Dame football this evening. We are on the air and we are looking forward to Homecoming 2024 as the Raiders take on the Rail Splitters of Lincoln Community High School. Ben Mark filling in for the Hall of Famer Eric Erb, your voice of the Raiders. Eric dealing with some other issues, so I am the one that was chosen to partner with the man, the myth, the legend, Chad Dusterhouse. Glad to be here and excited to be back at 10th and Jackson where Notre Dame aims, Chad, for its 7th consecutive win. It seems like ages ago we were here and Quincy Notre Dame lost to the Blue Devils in Quincy High. Ever since they rattled off 6 wins in their 7th blast. A little bit finish the season, of course, on the road next week.
Oh, they are?
Just the fact, we thought their defense was going to be something. The biggest thing for me has been the development of Schuckman as a quarterback. You know, Mr. Hoon always comes up here and wishes us luck.
I'm still learning
His, I want to say dominance at that running back. Because, I mean, he's missed a couple games, but he's kind of an old school Notre Dame running back that the more you give him the ball, it seems like the harder you run. And he complimented us on last week on that long touchdown run in Jacksonville.
I felt terrible.
You know, you just like to see that. Don't want to jinx it,
Caroline's
but
cough wasn't keeping
you
the whole room up.
the one knock I've had coming into every game, that knock on wood, you know, we're gonna, you know, it seems like they found a kicker for extra points. It has been, you know, Eric and I talked about it.
Well,
We
that
talked
makes
about
me
it.
feel a lot
You know,
worse.
against those good teams, you can't leave those points out.
That she's on her
And as simple as people think it is, no, obviously it isn't. But, you know, getting someone that can just focus on that, he's a freshman, he's a big kid, has a bright future. But, you know, it's kind of nice that starting back against Wayne Fear, you know, Notre Dame's gone on a run of making the point after, which is huge because, again, you get into the wintertime, you get into the snow, rain, playoffs. 1 and 2 points. I mean, I look back. I wasn't here, ironically, but I think it was 74. Notre Dame's first ever trip to the semifinals. They lost at Q Stadium in a monsoon mud bowl to Chicago Mount Carmel 3-0. And I mean, you go, well, you know, it's 70s, but they apparently were able to get a kickoff, and Notre Dame never got the chance.
The bottom line is you're saying it can happen. It can come about at any
You know,
point. You
yeah.
may play
Yeah.
in a monsoon again. You may play in a 0-0 game where it may come down to a 17, 20-yard field goal, and you need
Something.
that guy to get it done. Rowan Stedman has done a really nice job in that. Been perfect over the last couple of weeks. Missed one in the JV game on Monday night, though, Chad.
Well,
I got to give him a little grief.
if it would have been here, I'm sure the announcer would have been all over him.
Yes.
Oh, the PA announcer, not
Yes.
us.
But Rowan has done a really nice job coming in as a freshman, as you've noted, for these high-pressure situations.
It is.
Where he made all 10
Well, I
against
felt
12, or however many that 11 against Lamphere.
Yep.
And then was great last week at Jacksonville. He's really solidified that spot.
You're
with
like-
Paul Meehan and dealt with some injuries. They brought
But,
Rowan in, and he's done a nice job.
And it's one of those things, having coached our kickers for years, you know, blessed with the Pat Smiths of the world, Phil Smith, Blake Doan, Matt Doan. You know, I mean, you take it for granted, but in 2A football, a guy knocking down a 20-yard field goal is huge, because a lot of these teams that Notre Dame may see, they may not have
And I
to.
just have a different.
So
like,
it's good to
I
see
have
that.
different
Good to see him getting healthy. You've seen a lot of guys come back. You know, as we jump into things tonight, it's going to be talking to Max now, one of the O-line coaches, played at QU from Galesburg, was up here getting the camera all set up and going, and he goes, it's kind of nice playing this wing T, which we're going to see, which I am not a fan of. You, I believe, are not a fan of, but it's something you see in small school football. So we saw the option last week, we see the wing T this week, and the one thing we kind of talked a little bit on the air last week, Eric and I, was I don't really know. Jacksonville late in that game just kind of waved the flag. I mean, there was no urgency with 5 minutes to go in the game and they had the ball. And yes, the home touchdown probably was a backbreak. But, you know, it's kind of one of those things where playing some of these schools that run the ball, run the option, run the wing T, if you can get up on them, they can't come out and spread and chuck the ball all over the field. It's not what they do.
Jacksonville did not have a single passing yard last week. 0 passing yards. They ran for 337, but they did have some lengthy drives that kind of swung out.
Yep.
They were able to score a few touchdowns. However, like you and I and Eric talked about as we drove home last Friday night, was really the shock and awe of them giving up there at the end, where you scored on an onside kick. Who knows what could happen? But it's 4.5 minutes to go, and they're taking the play clock down to 5.
Well, and going back years ago, the game against Hannibal here, when I was on the staff coaching, you know, Hannibal scored with 1:56. You know, there was about 2 minutes when they got the ball back, and I told Canelo, I'm like, you know, Coach St. Clair screwed up. We have enough time. If we can score, we can get the ball back and win the game, and that's what we did that night. And that's the thing, people, you know, it's if you're an option team and that's all you do, I think you just wave the flag. It's like, well, we're not.
We can get 6 yards, 8 yards, 4 yards. We can't
throw the ball.
Yeah, we can't.
And there was a couple times talking to Ben Morrison after the game. You know, he's like, they were in 10 protection, which means they had the quarterback and 9 guys blocking, and only 1 guy going out for a pass. It's hard to move the ball in those situations.
No doubt about that. This is the pregame show. It's brought to you by Schott & Kirk Automotive Group and Ben Martin. Chad Dusterhouse, yours truly filling in for Eric Irvin, the Hall of Famer, will be back, I think, next week in Decatur, which will be good because I know you guys have your favorite place to eat.
It's always fun
We did
going
last
on the
week in
road.
Jacksonville.
So,
Had a wonderful pizza and more at Leo's in Jacksonville. Have you chosen Decatur's spot this week?
Eric says yes. We got the place.
Wow. Huh?
You got to.
Diamonds.
I'll tell you one thing. In all the years going on the road with the football teams, it was always the same place. Pasta. You know, I mean, as we changed sub sandwiches, different things. When I gave up the coaching side and started doing this media stuff, you eat at a lot better places. You know, it's not McDonald's. Here's your bag of food. Get back on the bus. But it's also nice to try. You know, I've been traveling in sales over the years, out on some of these middle of nowhere places. You really find some amazing restaurants, some local stuff where you never know what you're going to run into, but it's always good.
No doubt. Notre Dame enters this contest 6-1 overall, 5-0, and champions of the Central State 8 West Division. The Rail Splitters come in at a record of 4-3 overall, 2-3 inside of the CS8 East Division. So a cross Central State matchup here tonight for QND, and of course the matchup for Lincoln. Lincoln's only been to the playoffs remarkably 3 times. Last year, Chad, you and I were talking about it before we came on the broadcast. Prior to that, it had been since 1984 since they've made the postseason. When you talk about Notre Dame, 26 times in the last 30 years, or 30 seasons, where Lincoln in their history has been to the postseason 3 times, and we know about the history of basketball at that school, the traditions they have.
It's one of these things where you see this a lot in the States. You'll be a power in one sport and struggle in others. And you just don't know, is it the coaches over the years haven't got the kids out? Or we joke about Brian who went to Lincoln.
Played in the NBA.
Played in the NBA. 6'10", stretch big guy. Obviously, his future was basketball, but you kind of wonder if you just lined him up out there and threw him up the ball down at the goal line. That would be pretty hard to defend.
Yes, I would think so. Lincoln coming off a loss last week at Chatham Glen. 57-0 against a very good Titans team. Their wins this year have come against Lanphier, Southeast, Eisenhower, and Parker. If you do the math, that's not very good season. I think when you look at the total records of the teams, 3-25 against the teams they beat.
The thing I would say about the Central State is the good teams are very good. The bad teams are very bad. And it seems like the teams in the middle, they beat the teams they should, and they lose some teams. It's that, I don't know how good the conference is. Obviously you have Rochester, you have St. Mark, you have Chatham, Quincy, Notre Dame are the top 5 in the conference.
Springfield's pretty good.
Springfield's solid, but again, they're a team that doesn't have a lot of success. So it's going to be interesting if the coaches, but we talked, and you've been at these games too. I've been impressed with Springfield Southeast coach. They were organized, they were disciplined, a young coach. So it's curious to see, and a lot of young players in this conference. We talked Sacred Heart, there's a lot of juniors in Southfield. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I'm going to go ahead and jump to the Quincy Catholic Elementary School's Foundation's Key to the Game. And I'm curious for your response. Throw out all the cliches, because you can't turn the ball over. You can't have drive-killing penalties. It's the same in every game. I really think Notre Dame needs to come out tonight, all focus on themselves. You're going to see the win team. Morrison has it scouted. They know how to defend it. But I think they want to crisp up some of the things last week. They gave up a lot of yards. You can't give up 300 yards rushing going forward. They had a lot of penalties. You got to clean that up. There were a lot of holding, blocking, really not a lot of personal fouls. So again, if you focus, because it's also homecoming week, a bunch of things, and I said to Jack, one of my favorite memories of Coach Cannell would always say, don't worry if you don't have a date when you go to the dance. If you do your job as a football player and win the game, you'll find a girl to dance with. So again, that just brings on a bunch more distraction. And, they come out, take care of business. This is a team that I want to say they've been blown out by the good teams.
That's against
even throw again, yeah. So if you come out, get on top of them, it appears they're going to give up. They're going to lose interest. And again, going back to that option, that wing team, they only have a couple of pass plays. So if you can force them into a passing situation, they're going to struggle.
Notre Dame's final regular season home game, for all intents and purposes, they will host the Raiders take the field for the first time tonight at homecoming 2024, ranked number 4 in Class 2A this week in the Associated Press Top 10 poll. a pretty darn good Jacksonville team, a 5A team, and you win at Jacksonville, and you drop a spot in the Class 2A top 10 poll. That just shows you winning state rankings.
Mr. Shuckman did a great job with his article. Notre Dame gets leapfrogged because the number 16 beat the number 14. Both were undefeated. So that's 16 in the poll. They figured, but he also said, I think someone didn't vote, or they didn't get all their votes in. So there was less, and Notre Dame, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's you, me, Irvin, and my brother going, let's rank the top 10 teams in the state for all intents and purposes.
Right, exactly. And they were, the three teams above them were all undefeated.
Yep.
So, I mean, you give them credit for going 7-0 so far this year, especially that Moreau-Forsyth group. You're keeping an eye on that big matchup
Yes,
between
there's a
Moreau and
huge
Forsyth
game.
Williams.
They're playing at Williamsville, which Notre Dame faced in 3A a few years back. I don't like to tell, I'm not looking ahead, but doing some scouting, Moreau-Forsyth has a 6'5", 220-pound tight end going to Illinois. He doesn't lead him in receptions. He doesn't lead him in yards, but I thought he had 10 or 12 touchdowns. So that'll be the number one seed on Notre Dame if Notre Dame's paired up on that side of the ball. We don't know. We won't know until the 26th, and we'll figure out something. There'll be all kinds of stuff once we get to that night.
Raider fans, that'll do it for the pregame show brought to you by Schottenkirk Automotive Group. Then live Chad Deucer play-by-play here in just a matter of minutes. We're going to listen to the play courtesy of the yards rushing this year, 9 touchdowns. He's also got a touchdown reception, so 10 altogether. Talon Scott is the fullback, 6'1", 210-pound senior. Nolan Alger is the tight end, 6'1", 220-pound senior. And then the receivers, Jack Brenner, who is a 6'1" senior. Gavin Dole, 6'3" junior. Lincoln's defense, they have a 3-4 defense that they'll come out in. Aiden Fry, Logan Riggs, and Frank Sanders are on the defensive line. Chad, Frank Sanders is the guy to look out for. Number 69 comes in with 8 sacks on the year, as well as 13 tackles for loss. Frank Sanders leads this Lincoln defense, a much maligned defense, having given up average opponents scoring 35 points a game. 4 linebackers, Tate Johnston, Peyton Bunner, as well as Preston Hunt and Jason Gilbert. The defensive backs are Gabe Smith, Kyle Kohler, and the safeties are Ryan Metelko and Court Pentecost. Raiders will have the football. Standing back at the 15-yard line is Dolman as well as Mueller, but it's picked up by Triplett, and they're going to fake it. Going to Dolman. Dolman getting off the right side across the 25, across the 30. One man to beat if he can. Runs right into the kicker and still keeps going. All the way inside the 30-yard line down to the 27. Dolman looked like he would have been brought down 17 times prior to that, but picks up a huge kickoff return to start things out.
And we used to run that under Coach Cannell, called it the Blooming Onion,
I
where
heard
all the
him
guys
screaming
kind
that behind
of. We'll see. Hopefully the volume's a little better for everyone.
So the 4 guys in the Bloomin' Onion display there is just to let you guys and gals know that it's the 2 receivers plus the 2 behind them waiting for the kick. They all come together and form like an onion.
Yeah, and
then it
the
kind of petals out.
guy handing off has to be in front, so it's a backwards handoff.
Interesting. I like it. On 1st and 10, Shuckman standing about his own 32, or the Lincoln 32.
It's
off
a
to
pass.
Triplet. And Triplet will pick up positive yardage inside the 20, down to about 17, near another first down.
They call that, it's a pass, but he kind of throws it forward like the Chiefs run all the time with Keller guys. So.
Almost like a shovel pass. But
Shovel pass, it's a forward pitch,
Yeah.
which can happen behind the line of scrimmage. So,
positive yardage for Shuckman on the statistical standpoint.
yes, sir.
So they get 9, 2nd and 1. Ball spotted at just outside the 17. We'll call it the 18 on 2nd and 1 for the Raiders. Shuckman, screen pass. Dolman catches it. And he's going to be brought down nearly immediately. That's Kyle Ford on the tackle for Lincoln. Dolman pushed out of bounds for a Raider first down at the 16-yard line.
And you got to like the fact Shuckman's completed nice 2 easy passes, got a first down in the red zone. Notre Dame just needs to finish this drive.
It looked like, just from body language, that Hunter Shuckman was a little disappointed last week in the way that he played, his limited playing time in the second half. We need some confidence in this young
Yes,
man.
yeah, get the confidence up. He kind of slipped on that interception, the first one that was tipped, and then didn't look off the receiver on the second one.
1st and 10 from the rail splitter 15-yard line. Shuckman in shotgun, going up top to Dolman, throws it back corner and out of bounds.
And again, that's
Incomplete.
not a bad ball placement because you want to put it to where Dolman has a chance. Wow, how much taller is Dolman than that DB?
Dolman's 6'3", that DB's 5'7", so you do the math, 8
So,
inches.
yeah, I just saw it walking back. I'm going, wow, there's a huge height advantage there. So you want to give your athletic 6'3" junior wide receiver a chance to make a play or no one make a play. So,
Second down and 10 for the Raiders. We are under 11 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Scoreless football game. Raiders' first drive of the game after a long kickoff return by Gavin Dolman. Handing it off to Triplet. Right up the gut he goes. All the way down to the 10. Nice push up, 5 yards for Oliver Triplet. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Raiders from the rail splitter 10.
And again, that's a nice thing. You establish the passing game, which is making the linebackers and the DBs think, oh goodness, and then they do a little motion and give it to Triplet on like a lead play, right up the gut for 5 yards.
Oliver Triplet has had some games where he's just flat out gone off, and then there's some other games where they haven't necessarily needed him to go off.
I think the feed the hot hand.
3rd down and short for the Raiders. Call it 5. Hand off to Hoon, running right side. We've got a penalty flag thrown. Hoon is going to get near the first down and, in fact, get it. However, that one might be coming back.
And it looks like it's in a holding area.
It is. Last week, Chad, 17 penalties in that contest last week. I knew you were sick of seeing that yellow being thrown on the flag.
Well, it's a couple of them were on the opposite side, completely had nothing to do with the play. This is a hold at the point of attack. If it's at the point of attack, you have to call it. If it's the receiver on the opposite side, I don't get it. And even, I thought some of the flags on Jacksonville, you were on the sidelines, I know it was very chippy. Auger's personal foul, I was informed by my brother who was over there watching, said, well, along with their linemen that got the personal foul after, but you have to clean up some of this stuff going into playoffs.
3rd and long, 3rd and 15 from the Lincoln 20, setting up the screen pass across the middle to Hoon. Shuckman gives it to him, and Hoon picks up a few. Gets to about the 17-yard line, so very small gain there, about 3 yards for Ivan Hoon on the brief little screen pass. But 4th and long, and this is where Rowan Stegeman, you're out of his field.
Yeah,
he's going to be more
you're
of a
going to go
20
for
to
it.
30 guy, not here.
Yeah, this is a 40-yard field goal. Right around
35.
35. It's you don't want to hurt his confidence. You want him to kick the extra point.
So on 4th and 13 for the Raiders, call it at the 18-yard line of Lincoln. Kuhn next to Shuckman. Shuckman wants to pass, looking left, throwing left. Pass intended for a triple. Threw it over him. Good coverage there by Peyton Bunner for Lincoln. And a turnover on down. So what was a very positive first drive for the Raiders stalls out at the 18-yard line of Lincoln.
And again, it goes back to the penalty. It killed the drive. You were well within manageable. Now you're 3rd and 15, and if everything doesn't go well, you don't have a 3rd and 15 play in the playbook.
Lincoln's first offensive set, their wins this year against Lanphier, against Southeast, as well as Eisenhower and MacArthur. Those teams are a combined 3-25 currently. Fake to the first back through. It's going to be the quarterback, Tate Johnston, taking it himself. Gets across the 20, up to about the 22-yard line. 4-yard gain on first down.
And this kind of sees from the Raider defense, this first drive, if they can get a quick 3 and out, it sets up everything. Otherwise, it may take them serious to adjust. It did last week against the option. Now, Lincoln isn't nearly as big or I think as athletic on the ends as Jacksonville was.
Johnston will hand it off, and not going very far at all as Peyton Bunner. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and they may give him a yard. In fact, they will, up to the 24. So it's going to bring up 3rd and about 5 for Lincoln, who loves to run the football. They don't throw it a lot, obviously, out of this wing team, but they do have over 1,500 rushing yards.
Yeah, they're balanced. The fullback kind of leads the way, which they're a little different than traditional. They're in the shotgun.
Hand off to the second guy through. That's number 3, Gabe Smith. And Gabe Smith gets very close and probably going to give him a first down. In fact, he's about a half yard more than he needs. So first down and 10 for Lincoln, up to the 29-yard line. All right, Coach Schusterhouse, put on your hat. How do you stop the wing team?
You got to take out the fullback. It's all about play fake and execution. So the quarterback, sometimes it's a design call, sometimes it's a read. But it all starts with usually their bigger guys, a fullback. They're in the shotgun. He's right next to him. You'll have a guy in motion.
Johnston passing rarely on first down and 10 and not going in. Great open field tackle by Jack Brenner.
And he loses a yard or two, which is the worst case scenario from this offense to run a pass play and lose yardage. You'd rather have the incomplete than a 2-yard loss.
Jack Brenner's had a nice senior year. That's his 32nd tackle. His 5th tackle for loss. He's got a sack. We know about the 2 pick sixes that he had back-to-back against Lanphier a couple of weeks ago here. He's a nice little underrated piece to this Raiders defense.
Everyone talks about Scott Mueller, but there are so many pieces to this puzzle.
Handoff goes to Gabe Smith on 2nd and long, and he gets up positive yardage. Brenner and Aiden Bernier and others in on the tackles by Taylor Scott had him wrapped up as well, but not before Smith gets across the 30 to the 33, 6-yard gain.
And again, with this wing team, they really wanted it 3rd and less than 4, 3rd maybe 5. Now you're at 6, and if Notre Dame can stop the run, they try to pass here. Just all on the last play, they weren't really able to do much. They come out with twins here to the Notre Dame sideline.
Lincoln on 3rd and 6 from their own 34-yard line.
And do we have a timeout?
Looks as though we may have a timeout called here. A delay of game? Excuse me. Didn't see that.
I didn't
Now
know
I
the
look
play
at the right,
clock.
see a 0 on the play clock.
There's zeros on the play clock.
So
I'm
it'll be
not
3rd
going to
and
question the guy running the play clock.
You
here.
better not.
Yeah.
So it'll be 3rd and 11 for the Raiders, for the Rail Splitters at the 29-yard line. Johnston takes the snap, wants to pass. We have another penalty. And the false start. Another penalty on Lincoln. We'll back them up 5 more. We're talking about the Raiders not committing the penalties. The Rail Splitters can't.
They can't get out of their own way here. You got the delay game, and now you got this. So you went from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 15.
Ball spotted at the 24-yard line. We are scoreless here. We're almost halfway through this first quarter. Homecoming 2024. Notre Dame hosting Lincoln. Ben Marth with Chad Dusterhouse on the call today. Johnston wants to pass on 3rd and long. Got plenty of time, just wings it up there. And
Throws it
threw
away.
it to the Lincoln sideline. Incomplete. Brings up 4th down. And those 3rd and long situations are exactly what the Raider defense wants.
Yeah, the Raiders, they give up a first down. They make some adjustments. They get the stop. They get the 3rd and long situation. Now you're going to have Dolman standing right around midfield, which we saw what he did on the kickoff return. If you're Lincoln, do you punt it to him or do you kick it away? Or
Dolman has 2 punt returns for touchdowns this year. The punt is a bad one. It goes off the foot, right side of the foot. Takes a neutral bounce. It'll be down inside Lincoln territory at the 42-yard line. The Raiders will start in really good field position for their 2nd possession of the contest. First one went empty, no points. Penalties really hurt them. Of course, that holding call was really the damaging call that put them at 3rd and 15.
yeah, in their we talked about Stegman and the great job he did on PATs. They're just out of that range. And again, you don't want to. He's a freshman, but you want his confidence high on the kick. So sometimes you don't even think about those.
I've seen the young man kick for a long time. I think my son would be he is a good kicker, but he doesn't have a lot of length right now.
No.
Maybe he will acquire that. Ivan Hoon gets the call on 1st down, carries right up the gut, and picks up positive yardage down to what looks to be about the 37. 5-yard gain on 1st down. We'll make it 38-yard line. 2nd and 6 for the Raiders.
And then I see Mueller coming in at wide receiver, I'm assuming. I think
he's coming in at quarterback. He just got the play call, did he not?
Well,
Yeah.
Is
Shuckman's
right here? Okay,
yep.
so they're changing it up early.
Wyatt Mueller will be the quarterback here.
I was going to say the one thing I didn't get a chance to talk, but I would kind of like to see Stuckman doing some of those carries.
On 2nd and 6, the handoff to Hoon. Hoon kind of tiptoeing his way to a Raider 1st down. All the way down to the 40-yard line. He needed 6. He got 8. The Raiders in a fresh set of downs. You like the Mueller every once in a while, kind of shake up the quarterback?
And I don't.
it
It's
too early?
one of those things where I think they have a plan coming in where they want to do certain things in certain packages with certain personnel. And the one thing I'm curious to see is, do they give the ball now to Hoon more with Mueller in there or keep running these QB sweeps?
Mueller's running the quarterback sneak, as Chad just alluded to. And Mueller's going to pick up really good yardage. Running out of bounds. It's about the 23. It's about a yard, just 2 shots.
Yard short. It was one of those things. They ran to the other side. The chain crew did a good job dropping the chain so no one gets hurt. And we couldn't tell, was he tackled the yard short, on the yard, or made it. So, yeah, it's going to be – I really want to see him run the ball with Hoon more. I think he's done a great job. And as they go forward in the playoffs, I think that's going to be a huge key and asset.
Harsel, Darnell, Rhodes, Peterson, and Reagan. The offensive line has done a wonderful job this year. 2nd and short. Mueller wants to pass. Sets up a little screen to Taylor Scott. Scott gets the 1st down and more. Nice block there. Looked like Tate Meyer. Almost a blindside. Luckily, the guy was turned.
He was turned, and just that comeback block and springs Scott for an extra, 5 yards, 7 yards?
Just Taylor's 5th reception of the year. 1st down and 10 for the Raiders at the 15-yard line. They've been here this game. Came away scoreless in their first drive. Hoon gets down to about the 13 on 1st down. Pick up the 2. Stopped there by Frank Sanders. Sanders comes in with 33 tackles, 13 of them for loss and 8 sacks.
And it seems like they're doing more up-tempo here with Mueller in at quarterback, which I kind of like to give it that change of pace.
Hoon will take the carry and go straight up the gut and just runs and bulldozes his way up to about the 11-yard line. 12. He's still spotted at the 12. He's going to be, inside the 10 at about the 7.
And it looked like he was going to be tackled right and then carries on for 4 or 5 yards.
So they'll put it at the 6. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the 6. Need to get to the 5 for a 1st down. With Mueller still in at quarterback. We are under 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. No score. Raiders' 2nd drive of this contest. Mueller at shotgun takes it. Wants to run it himself. Wyatt Mueller's got plenty in front of him. Getting near the end zone. Almost should have been down.
Yeah, I think he's going to be down at the 1.
And the officials came right in and said he was indeed down at the 1-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Raiders inside the 2-yard line. Actually inside the 1 yard.
Yeah, he's going to be just short.
First and goal.
Again, you'll call it the 1 just because you can't have negative.
Will the Raiders do the Raider push, like the tush push that the Eagles do? Indeed, they did, as Wyatt Mueller goes right inside his center and puts 6 points on the board. Touchdown Raiders, Wyatt Mueller with the touchdown.
Nice way to finish that drive with 3:25.
Wyatt's 4th rushing touchdown of the season. He has a touchdown reception. He has 5 touchdowns passing. He's got a punt return for a touchdown. Can he do anything else, Deuce?
He's thrown for 1 or 2 as well.
And Stegeman was on for the extra point, and that is 3:25. He's taken a 7-0 lead on Lincoln, and so far it's been the penalties from both teams. The Raiders have taken advantage of Lincoln's penalties. The bad punt, Wyatt Mueller comes in and positive yardage the rest of the way. No penalties for the Raiders on that drive, and they're able to score on a brief 42-yard scoring drive, and the Raiders take the first lead of the game at 7-0.
And nice job mixing up the offense. You know, it seems like when Mueller comes in, everyone falls for that sweep, which is a great play for him, but it's nice to see him get Hoon going, some misdirection, get the ball out to Scott on the pass play, and most importantly, finish the drive and finish with that extra point.
Brenner will kick. 3 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Wyatt Mueller caps off the 42-yard scoring drive with a 1-yard touchdown run, his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Brenner will kick from his own 40. Very nice kick. All the way down to inside the 10-yard line, picked up at about the 7. And not really going far at all. Really good coverage by Joseph Dolan on the tackle. That was 1-on-1. Number 1 on number 1. Quentin Quisenberry for Lincoln is the number 1 for Lincoln. The number 1 for the Raiders, Joseph Dolan, who makes a nice special teams catch.
And there was something there I didn't see. You may not have caught it. Lincoln sent 2 guys out here to stop the kicker, and essentially gave up the advantage. You know, because most of the time your kicker is going to be your safety, and they had 2 guys there ready to block him, but you know, Notre Dame's coverage team made the play before that could happen.
Lincoln's second possession of the game coming out of their wing T formation. And it's as though the fullback was the one who got it. Kyle Cole, not necessarily a fullback, but that was a couple of different fakes that did not work out very well at all in that game.
I thought it was going to the second half.
My eyes were on the quarterback.
You want to say something, buddy?
Go Raiders.
Atta baby. Lucas Oosterhouse. Good to see you, buddy. Second down and 11 for the Rail Splitters. Ball spotted at their own 24-yard line. Raiders lead 7-0. 2:40 remaining in this first quarter. Johnston wants to pass again. Caught by Kohler. He's got some men in front of him. And Kohler's going to be brought down by Wyatt Mueller, but not before. He gets inside Raider territory, brought down to the 47-yard line. So 29 yards on that pass. That didn't look like they were uncomfortable throwing the football as Johnston found Kohler in stride.
It looked like they were going to set up a screen over here, and the QB rolled to the screen side, and then hit the receiver coming across, and just kind of landed in between the DBs and the linebackers.
Hand off to Smith. He's going off the left side. And coming up to make a nice hit is Gavin Dolman. Gabe Smith, the ball carrier there, picking up 3 yards to the 44-yard line of Lincoln. It'll be second down and 7.
And this is one of these things where these offenses, they play it all the time, and they do a good job.
Second down and 7 for Lincoln. Ball spotted at the 44-yard line of the Raiders. Notre Dame up 7-0 as we approach the end of the first quarter. Handoff once, and then he hands off to another guy. So a double handoff there, and eventually it's that second man through gets a Lincoln first down.
And what they're doing is they're faking that jet sweep with Smith, and then he just kind of pushed the ball back to that running back who kind of came up on the late. So I think call it a reverse because he never left the tackle, but kind of a neat way of moving that ball around and getting Notre Dame to flow with the motion and on the jet sweep.
1st and 10 from the 35. Another sweep. This is Kohler. He gets absolutely drilled by Taylor. He's going to fill that not only now, but even to get up. And a penalty on Lincoln makes it worse.
Holding on Lincoln, it appears.
I mean, Kyle Keeler came around, Chad, picked up 4 or 5 yards, but Taylor Scott absolutely lit him up.
And it was a clean hit. He just, got him and kind of picked him up and drove him into the ground. And 10-yard penalty, their 3rd of the game for 20 yards is what I'm having, or what I have them down for.
We'll back them up to the 42-yard line of the Raiders, to the 25, so it's going to be 1st and 17 for the Rail Splitters.
And we saw that on the last series. The penalties kept backing them up and backing them up. And the Notre Dame defense found ways to get stops. So we'll see if that happens here. If you're Notre Dame, you got to be concerned they're getting to the edge on these sweeps.
Johnston, the quarterback, wants to throw. Balls in the air, batted down. As Taylor Scott and Noah Alger were both in on the quarterback who's slow to get up.
And that's the one
An
thing.
incomplete pass. I don't think, Chad, they're ruling that as a fumble, are they?
No. He clearly threw it, but, the one thing about this Notre Dame defense is they hit and like to hit. Now, what do we got here? Okay. They were looking. It was almost like they were looking at each other. I was waiting for a call. I didn't see a flag go in the air, but nice job there of Auger and the other defender getting to the quarterback, hitting him. And that's one thing in football. The more you hit them, the more they don't like it. Makes a play.
2nd and 17. The sweep to Smith. Can the Raiders corral them? They will. Back to the line of scrimmage. Brought down by a host of Raiders. Taylor Scott, go figure, in on the tackle, not allowing Smith to get to the outside and pick it up. It's a 1-yard gain to the 41-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 16 for Lincoln.
Now, the one thing is, I would say right now, if you're Lincoln, you're in 2-down territory. I think you're down 7-0. You're on the road. You run the wing tee, so it's not like you're going to come out in 4 or 5 wide here. But now, if something happens and you lose yardage, that could change.
Here's Johnson wanting a pass. Here comes the defense. Nolan Earhart and others in on the sack for the Raiders. Noah Alger was around that. Nolan Earhart, as I mentioned. Charleston Williams, you name them. But it is a sack to Earhart. That is his 4th sack of the season.
And now you push him back to where I almost think you have to punt because you don't want to give Notre Dame the ball at their 49.
Yeah, you'd be a fool not to punt.
But this will be the last play of the quarter.
Give them a chance to discuss what they want to do, but it's going to be 4th and 24 for Lincoln coming out of the first quarter timeout. With the Raiders leading after 12 minutes by the score of 7-0. 1 yard, Wyatt Mueller punch in that started at the Lincoln 42-yard line and resulted in Mueller picking up yet another touchdown this year, his 4th rushing touchdown. As we mentioned, he's done a lot of other things when it comes to touchdowns. Throwing for 5. He has 3 touchdown receptions. He's also had a punt return for a touchdown. So the future Division I football player, Wyatt Mueller, Illinois State University, has had himself quite a swan song here as the Raiders play their final regular season game in 10th and Jackson. Their only loss here, of course, was the opener against Quincy High, where it was a very tight first half. Of course, Quincy High opened up the advantage in the second half, ran away and won that contest. But all Quincy High has done, Chad, is stay unbeaten at 7-0, and Notre Dame hasn't lost a game since. Has there been a better year for these two programs together?
And Notre Dame gave their best year. So, hopefully both teams can draw nice brackets to see what they can do here in the playoffs in a couple weeks. I don't have a score from Williamsville yet. The Devils are about 20 minutes from kickoff, yet up in Geneseo.
Nice moment here for the first quarter where they had the 47th anniversary unveiling of the QND fund drive. $607,000, 370 $370 for the 47th anniversary of the Notre Dame fund drive.
And that's a great thing that the foundation does to help offset and keep the tuition as reasonable as they can. And, you know, can't say enough thank you to all of our sponsors for this show and all the sponsors that help everything here at Notre Dame.
So Lincoln will punt right near midfield. They'll say it's at the 49 of the Raiders. And it backs him up just a tad. And then punted and fielded by Wyatt Mueller at about the 18-yard line, running up the right sideline. Gets a block or two. Wyatt Mueller is not going to be touched. That is an 82-yard punt return for Wyatt Mueller and the Raiders have a 2-touchdown advantage.
And we've talked about, you know, the special teams, just making sure there's no flags. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is there a flag? I'm not seeing. I don't know why this one official's here. Hold on.
I don't believe there's any.
Oh, they had a procedure against.
The penalty was on Lincoln.
Okay, that's good.
So Mueller brings it back 82 yards for the second touchdown of the game for not only him, but for the Raiders. That's his second punt return for a touchdown, joining Gavin Dolman to lead the team in that category.
And the great thing is this team has scored on offense, defense, and special teams touchdowns.
Stegging it in, Joseph Dolman will be the holder here for the Raiders to try and tack on another point here with 11:44 to go in the half. Stegman's extra point is good. 16 seconds gone in the second quarter. The 82-yard punt return for a touchdown by Wyatt Mueller. Extra point by Rowan Stega that makes it a 14-0 lead. That was interesting how they set up that punt coverage. Chad, they kicked it to the left side, yet they had everybody basically on the right side.
And Mueller cut it across to about midfield and went untouched for the rest of the way. Okay.
Lincoln is needing at least a win. Of course, here not only this week, it's not trending in their direction starting so far today, but they host Jacksonville. Or no, they host Jacksonville next week.
That'll be a very interesting game.
And Jacksonville, I believe, is playing MacArthur tonight.
Yes, who Notre Dame plays, I believe, next week. Or do we have which? Yeah, MacArthur? Isn't that who Notre Dame finishes with?
That's correct, yep. So if Jacksonville wins tonight, that puts them at 5-3. If Lincoln would lose tonight, 4-4, forcing Lincoln to have to win that game next week at home to get into the postseason for the second consecutive year and just for the fourth time in Lincoln's history.
And that's
Raiders
could be
kick,
very interesting.
fielded the 8. Raiders special teams had it for a second, but eventually they do boil it down, tackle inside the 30-yard line at about the 28. A few Raiders in on the tackle. And Lincoln will start out first and 10. They'll spot it at the 27-yard line of the Rail Splitters. Raiders up 14-0, 11:36 to go in the half.
Now, I don't know about your childhood, but every time I think of Lincoln, I think of logs. The old toys.
Oh, of course, yes. I love Lincoln.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The amazing things you could do with them. Them and Legos were two of my favorite toys.
Johnston on first and 10 will hand it off to Smith. Charleston Williams chasing. But it's going to be Taylor Scott, Williams, and another Raider in on this tackle. Getting up to close to the 30, about the 20. It's a 2-yard gain for Gabe Smith. They like him. They let him alone.
And this is the one thing that this Raider defense has done all year. It seems like that first drive, Lincoln was getting to the edge. That was a 5, 6, 7-yard gain. As the game goes on, the Raiders are getting their angles and slowing down.
2nd and 8, double handoff. There's the Keeler.
Right there.
And the look who's there for the Raider defense, none other than Aiden Brumier, who quietly has had a really good season defensively.
And he really come back from the knee injury. I forget which game that was, but good to see him back out there. They do a great job of rotating those front 4, keeping them fresh, keeping them active. And again, Lincoln's in 3rd and 14.
Coach Baker, the defensive line coach, has done that for a long time for the Raiders. with Coach Cornell. Of course, Jack in his 7th season with the Raiders. Coach Baker's always done a nice job of rotating fresh guys in there. This day and age, you
have
need
to.
that.
Because so many are the O-linemen.
3rd and 14. Johnston wants to pass. Pass is caught. Keeler drilled by Taylor Scott. Poor Keeler, Chad. I mean, he's just getting drilled by Taylor Scott like every time.
It's the one thing we've always had here. We've always tried to be a successful program, try to do things the right ways. But I go back to when I was a student, started coaching. We've always had nasty linebackers and DBs that like to hit you. And
if you look at the back end, Notre Dame's best teams, they've had those.
yes. And sometimes it's a penalty because someone thinks you do it a little too hard, and other times it's not.
The punt by Jaden Gully is going to be let go. The Raiders will let go. It takes a Lincoln bounce inside the 35-yard line down to the 32, and that's where Notre Dame will start. It's their 3rd possession of the game. They scored twice. Their 2nd possession, a 1-yard Wyatt Mueller touchdown run. And just moments ago, the Wyatt Mueller 82-yard punt return to give the Raiders the 2-score lead.
And this is the first time they've had the ball to start on their side of the 50. So we'll see what offense they come out with, what they try to do. Do they try to get a quick hit? Do they try to Stuckman's in the game at QB, or Shuckman, I always do that. Shuckman's in at QB, so
Just
we'll
think
see.
Matt when you think of that. Just think Matt Shuckman.
Yep,
Right?
hopefully he's getting ready for Muddy Night Lights
Oh,
following
yeah.
this.
When are you going to be on that show?
I don't know. I'm
need to be on there.
I'm working on something with my girls.
As Alex Tooley laughs at us. Here's Hunter Shuckman passing, and it should have been caught by Joseph Dolman, and that is
should have been
incomplete.
caught. The Raiders got a little lucky there because he was kind of thrown behind Dolman. He still got his hands on it, but luckily there wasn't a defender there to pick up. Oh, look what I found.
So the incomplete pass will bring up 2nd and 10. Decent throw by Shuckman. Again, you mentioned it just being a tad behind the receiver.
You want to lead your receiver.
And it just throws the route off a little bit.
Well, you're trying to stop and come back for the ball, and your body can only turn so many different ways.
2nd and 10. Ball spotted at the 32-yard line of the Raiders. QND up 14-0. 9:18 remaining in quarter number 2. In motion is Hoon. Shuckman will pass it to him on the screen. Hoon's got some blockers, but there's that Frank Sanders guy again. He is impressive, and he brings down Hoon for a small gain.
And he fought through the block of the wide receiver, although Hoon still does pick up, a nice 3-yard gain. But
could have been a lot more. Sanders doesn't get out there.
if he doesn't fight through that block, there's a lot of running room. And that's a play that Notre Dame loves to run to set up. They'll fake the bubble or the little screen pass out to the running back and hit those receivers doing skinny posts coming back later in the game.
3rd down and 7 for Notre Dame. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line of the Raiders. Shuckman, the quarterback. Hoon, the running back. Receiver to the far side is Dolman. Trips here to the near side with Brenner, Triplett, as he's in motion, as well as Ty Meyer. The pass will go to Ty Meyer, who catches it at the 42 and brought down at the 42.
He's just going to be a little bit short, or are they going to give it to him?
It's going to be really, really close.
Now, the one thing on that last before the motion,
I think he has it.
I think he does too. You had Dolman, number 1 Dolman, on the left side, man up with that short DB. I would have almost just liked to see it not motion that way and just have Dolman run a slant, use his size to get between him and that DB and catch the ball. Mr. Irvin with the one eye is saying he's just short.
Why does he need me to fill in for him when he can see from this far away? Are you kidding me?
I've contacted friends at the Quincy Police Department and made them alert of the potential domestic abuse that happened at Walmart.
Oh, my God.
I think Marianne popped him one for one of his rather well-known comments.
Not Eric.
Not
Eric.
Not
Eric. Not the Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And Eric is right. He is very, very, very close to a first down, but still shy of it. And it's going to be 4th and inches.
I think you go for it.
Do you do the Raider push again, like they did on the touchdown?
I like that just because I think you're up front looking. Now they do have a pretty big guy who's over the center, but I just think Notre Dame's been able to run at will up front.
They do have Mueller and Shuckman in the game at this point.
And I wonder if we aren't going to see that offset Shuckman in the backfield and run the little push from Mueller coming in motion.
So under 8 minutes remaining, 4th and inches for the Raiders at the 42-yard line of their own. Shuckman looked like he may go under center. Now he backs up in shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off to Hoon. Hoon's got the first down in the middle. As he gets across the 45 and near midfield to the 49, 7-yard gain.
He almost spun out of that and took it to the house. I kind of like that. They lined up like they were going to go to the right. They gave it to Hoon coming back on the left, but they also had Mueller out here, bless you, lined up to where he could come in motion and take that little snap from under center and see what happens. It's almost like kind of a power eye from the shotgun.
1st and 10 near midfield. Hand off to Hoon. Hoon's got a big hole and more. He's inside the 40. Hoon's still on his feet. 30, 25-20. Hoon may go. Pushed out of bounds at about the 2-yard line.
Well,
what a run by Ivan Hoon.
I think they're going to say he stepped out at the 6. But again, that's kind of that double lead. And I'm just making sure. I saw one of the Notre Dame guys, I think he was saying, hurry up, hurry up. But, yeah, that was just a great play, simple lead. Hoon hits the hole hard, and then he's kind of got that burst. Yeah. Once he gets to that second level that kind of comes out of nowhere.
46-yard gain for the Raiders puts them 1st and goal from the 5. Shuckman in at quarterback, Dolman the receiver to the near side. Actually, Dolman also to the left side. Joseph and Gavin respectively. Shuckman wants to throw, looking at the end zone. Call. Wyatt Mueller, incomplete.
It must have got knocked out there.
He had it, and then he dropped it.
I think the defender punched it out. Good job by the defense. Brings up 2nd down.
Well done by that defender. Looked like it was Ryan Metelko, who's a 6-foot junior, number 22, who made that play for the Rail Splitters. Lincoln lost last week 57-0 at Chatham-Glenwood. They have not been competitive in some of their games this year against their better competition. Lost to Rochester, big, 63-7. Lost to U-High, 52-0. Handoff will go to Hoon. Hoon trying to bully his way into the end zone, and he does. Touchdown, Ivan Hoon. Raiders make it 20-0.
6:59 to play.
Hoon's 10th rushing touchdown of the season, 11th touchdown altogether, and the Raiders are up 3 scores.
And we're not saying anything.
Stegeman coming in for the extra point. He's done really well the last couple of weeks.
I said we're not saying anything.
And Dolman will have to run this in, and he's going to go in untouched. As the snap was low, Joseph Dolman picked it up, and there was nobody within 5, 7, 10 yards from Joseph Dolman, who takes the initiative, Chad, of running it into the end zone for a 2-point conversion, because you know what? 2 is better than 1, and it's 22-0.
But again, we just talked about not jinxing the poor kid. It doesn't count as an attempt for him. So, nice job by the Raiders special teams being alert, putting the extra point, 22-0, 6:59 to play in the second quarter, homecoming. We have an extended half. We have an extended treat, we're going to call it. Halloween's coming early at halftime.
An extended what?
Extended halftime. And we got.
I have not been told of this. What are we doing here?
Well, we're going to have everyone's heard of the Manning brothers. We're going to have.
I'm not giving up my mic. You better be adding a third mic here, Chad.
We got a third mic.
Up my mic.
But do you want to listen to him?
Yes, of course I do.
Okay, that's all good.
Nobody wants to listen to you and Corey talk about celebrity matches.
We've come up with a list of, if you go back to the 90s, MTV Celebrity Deathmatch, the Claymations. We've come up with a QND version in honor of homecoming.
I've had one person tell me, I can't wait to listen to halftime.
My phone's been blowing up. Was it Ray Wiest? He keeps telling me the same thing.
It was Kurt Stuckman. He loved your matchups. Brenner, a little pooch kick that will be caught and fielded at about the 24 by Keeler. Brought down first in on the tackle with Braden Smith. A couple of other Raiders in on the coverage as well, including John Venverlo. 6 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the first half. All Notre Dame, 22-0 is the lead, but not by any stretch of the imagination, Chad, is this game over, with the ability of Lincoln to break one open on a run.
It's getting to the point where the Raiders' defense is almost a step ahead. If that continues to happen and the line keeps getting the pressure and blowing up the plays.
Butter gets the handoff and not going very far.
They're going to have to do something.
Gain of 2.
But again, on second and 8, if they're keeping this Lincoln offense into second and 8, third and 7, it's not a comfort zone. And we talked about the Raiders being, third and 15 on their first possession. You get them out. It doesn't matter how good you look. You get in those situations where you have to pass or try something that you're not comfortable or good at.
Second and 8. Handoff goes to Bunner. And again, not really going anywhere. Might have got a yard.
He got a yard 40. On the final little push, but
the Raiders don't tackle like Jalen Scott is around the football, as always. Kellen Mangan, like Cole Hilding was around it as well as number 76, that being Camden Huner. Mangan will have to check out because his helmet came off, so he'll have to sit out this play. The concern with Notre Dame has always been depth. The Raiders need to stay healthy, and they could make an incredibly deep run, I think, in Class 2A.
And that's the important thing about tonight. Get the game over, get up.
Johnston wants to pass. He wanted Keeler, and he threw behind him, and it's incomplete. Fourth and 6.
I always say you want to be healthy going into week 8 and 9. Then, if your schedule dictates you can get up early, Notre Dame can score in their next couple of possessions, get into that chance of a running clock in the second half, get the young guys in, get them some experience, let them experience homecoming, but you want to be healthy at the end of the game.
Jaden Gully on a long snap, able to get it off, and a penalty flag coming in as Alger hit him. Really nothing for Alger to do there, Chad, because
I think is it going to be the personal foul, or is it going to be?
He's saying running into the kicker.
So that's 5-yard penalty.
Going to bring up 4th and 1.
Do they go for it?
I think you have to at this point, don't you?
I do. I mean,
really think you're already down 3 scores. If you want any chance of coming back in this game,
you're going to be short a yard. I mean, the big thing is, can the Raider defense find a way to get the stop and get better field position, which if they do get a stop here, 3 of their 4 possessions started on Lincoln's side of the field.
Mike Silkowski is the head coach for Lincoln in his 9th season with the Raiders. 27 games, lost 50. But did take Lincoln to the playoffs.
And Notre Dame, I thought he jumped.
A year ago.
I thought the Notre Dame lineman came across, and I'm looking right over it.
Johnston takes the snap, and he is going to get the first down, but I think you're right, Chad.
I thought
the Raiders jumped. Raiders caught a break, but still, first down. Lincoln gets a first down.
And that's the only the second penalty for the Raiders. So 2 for QND, 3 for Lincoln. A lot different than last week.
So Lincoln has it first down at 10. Ball spotted at their own 49-yard line. We are at about 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Raiders lead this contest 22-0. Johnston, the quarterback, will hand it off to Gabe Smith, and he is brought down as he crosses midfield and picks up 2.5 yards on that play.
And
Several Raiders in on the tackle, including number 62, big old Kellen Mangan.
They get you going the one direction and come back the other way.
So they go from their own 49 to the Raiders' 49. 2nd and 8. 4 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Got an extended halftime show coming up.
Alex Tooley is so excited for this halftime show.
Here is Gabe Smith going off the left side is going to be tackled by Gavin Dolman. Does a really nice job, and that is no gain. He went a long way, 0 yards. Going to bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and 8.
And I'm looking
Raiders will be at Decatur MacArthur coming up next week, and then the postseason begins. Assuming they finish this thing out at 8-1, the Raiders will be a lock, you would think, to host a first-round playoff game. Johnston throwing. Johnston looks very uncomfortable sometimes throwing the ball. Pass intended for Butter.
And an update from Williamsville. They are hosting Maroa Forsyth. 10:52 left in the second quarter, 14-7 Maroa. So it's a 2A, number 1 in 2A versus a ranked 3A team. And, QND, Maroa is ahead of them in all the polls. So very interesting what's going to happen come the postseason. And this game has a huge outlook.
So 4th down and 8 for Lincoln, and this time they will punt. And Gully gets it away. Dolman calls for a fair catch, and he does so. And then
he's touched. That should be a
illegal.
flag.
That should be a penalty.
Whether you make,
That is a penalty. Dolman signaled the fair catch and then got hit. I mean, not really hit, just touched.
He got touched. You can't touch him. I mean, was it a hard hit? No. But it's a player's safety, which is supposed to be a focus. So his hand was up clearly. He made the catch. And again, there was no violence to it, but it should have been a 15-yard penalty. But again,
the officials are dumbfounded to why Jack Cornell is complaining, but we saw it clear as day up here in the booth.
Well, the official blew it right away as soon as he caught it.
1st down and 10 for the Raiders. This possession starting at the 23-yard line, leading 22-0, 3:49 remaining in quarter number 2. Shuckman in the shotgun, takes the snap. Off to Joseph Dolman on the wide receiver screen, and Joseph Dolman, unfortunately for his sake, did not get anything, lost a yard or 2.
And that's a great job by the Jacksonville defender of fighting through that Notre Dame wide receiver block. My only question is, number 3 is on this side. The little guy's on the other side. Not saying I'm a mean person or a bad person, but I'm running that play at the little guy.
Okay.
That's.
How dare you say something like that, John?
Well, I mean, it's not, but if you have an advantage, I mean, if you have a tackle that's 6'5", 300 pounds, and one that's 5'10", $190, I'm running behind the big guy.
2nd and 12 for the Raiders at their own 22. Shuckman to pass, finds Dolman, Gavin that is, makes the catch.
Picks up a little bit.
7-yard line. 5 or so. It'll make it 3rd and manageable. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line. Raiders need to get to the 33, so you're looking at 3rd and 5.
And I kind of like this. They're throwing the ball. You don't get to simulate this in practice, obviously. You're going against a team that doesn't know what's coming. So it is kind of nice to see them keeping the offense going, getting Shuckman confidence against these other teams, because you're going to have to throw the ball some in the playoffs.
On 3rd and 5, Shuckman, deep drop, wants the pass across the middle, caught by Brenner. He lost it, got it back, and he picked up significant yardage.
And
that's one of those plays, Chad, where if you have a replay, that may go down as an incomplete pass.
He made 3 or 4 steps after he caught the ball.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He made 2.5. You only need 1 down in high school. He made a football move. He dropped it. It bounced right back up to him.
That was a fortuitous bounce.
Yeah, that was one of those, you're having a good night when the ball bounces right back to you.
So Brenner gets the 1st down and more, all the way up to the 47-yard line of the Raiders. 2 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. Notre Dame 22, Lincoln 0. Shuckman out of the shotgun. Wants to pass, fakes the screen, looking deep. Now he goes to go after Gavin Dolman. Dolman may have had 6 if he would have caught that. His first read was the triple. The triple blanketed in coverage. So then he went to another option, and Dolman just couldn't come up with it.
Dolman faked out here the quick hitch, the quick pass, the screen pass. Then when he saw it was done, he released, and he kind of put the one arm out to catch that ball and just wasn't able to. You'd like to see 2 hands. I think he makes the catch, and he celebrated
him.
Yeah. We'll need to talk. That was what his dad would do. His mom would have used both hands to catch the ball.
2nd and 7 for the Raiders. Shuckman again out of the shotgun, hands it off. This is, I believe, Oliver Triplett. as he gets up to about the 46-yard line or so. Say 47.
Timeout.
5-yard gain. Timeout called by Notre Dame.
And I think that's why we're seeing some of these passes.
It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for QND. Again, at the 47-yard line. But anyway, 3rd and manageable for the Raiders, and actually with 1:46 to go and a couple timeouts in your back pocket, Chad, this may be 4-down territory, is it not?
And your defense is doing their job. So, I mean, I think everything working your way where Lincoln will get the ball to start the second half. You got 2 timeouts. You got 1:46, 45. No hurry. Entire playbooks here. If you don't get it, there's no point in pinning them deep. I mean, you're up 3 scores. So, we'll see what happens. But interesting that Maroa score, 14-7 at Williamsville. Again, Williamsville is the #1 ranked team in 2A.
Some good local games around here, too. Camp Point Central hosting Carrollton
Yep.
in a really good matchup. Carrollton, of course, beating Hardin Calhoun a few weeks ago. Calhoun beating Camp Point Central back in the second week of the season. You've got Brown County, who's trying to get a playoff spot on the road at Hardin Calhoun. So some good football games throughout the area.
And playoffs, starting up here in a couple weeks. And no update on the Devils. I'm sure they're just getting going up in Geneseo.
3rd and 5. Hand off to Hoon. And Hoon is fighting for yardage and picks up 2. Initial tackle for Lincoln made by number 44, Logan Riggs. And now we're at 4th and 8.
And Notre Dame's going to let some clock run here. They're going to call their play. Oh, now they're going to call a timeout.
So a timeout called by Jack Cornell. Wants to take a little bit more time to talk this over when it's 4th and short and you're inside Lincoln's territory, but you're not too far into Lincoln's territory. If you fail to get this first down, Lincoln's got all 3 of its timeouts and plenty of time, even though they've looked uncomfortable throwing the ball.
Yeah, they really haven't looked good throwing the ball. Notre Dame's pressure is getting to them when they do try to throw the ball. So the question here, clock will stop if Notre Dame gets a first down. Do you just run a basic run play, get the first down, regroup, settle them down, and or do you try to pick up more than the first down?
Well, Shuckman is coming out.
Mueller.
Wyatt Mueller is in at quarterback, so this gives you a few more options to work around.
And it makes the defense think more. Does the defense all of a sudden go, oh crap, 9's back there, what do we got to do? Check. Did they call a timeout?
So on 4th and 5, ball at the 45-yard line of Lincoln's. Brenner here to the near side. Joseph Dolman on the far side. The sole running back is Hoon to the left of
Mueller. Try to get him to jump off sides.
Mueller takes the snap. Going to run with it. Trying to get off the left edge. He is. He's going to get the first down and more.
And he gets
Pushed
out of bounds.
He needed 3 and he got 5. First down and 10.
And clock stops, out of bounds. Are they going to keep Mueller? Looks like they're going to go with Mueller.
Raiders up 3 touchdowns. Have the ball inside Lincoln territory. 1:31 remaining in the second quarter. Mueller takes the snap. Mueller going the right side this time.
There we go.
Tackle made by Ryan Metelko. He had plenty of mask in which he was trying to tackle. And
Well, even if it's not bad, you almost get the horse collar. So, I mean, it has to be a 15-yard. Yeah, he got him good.
I think he did as well. He's going to bring it all the way down inside the 25-yard line, down to the 23.
Clock stops.
Lincoln wants a timeout. With 1:23 remaining in this contest, the Raiders with really good field position trying to tack on to what's been a fairly dominant first half, up 22-0.
And fairly quick first half. It's 57 minutes into the competition, or into the game, and, going to be interesting what happens here. Do they keep Mueller? Does Mueller, he's rushed for a TD. He's returned a punt for a TD. Does he throw, or catch a TD.
He's done anything possible, Chad. He can do it all. Had his third punt return for a touchdown earlier tonight. Had his fourth rushing touchdown. He's got 5 passing touchdowns.
And he has
got
one or
one
two.
touchdown reception.
Yep. He just needs a pick 6.
To have the, what would they call that?
Well, I would say the trifecta, but we're over 3.
Right. Out of the timeout. Mueller still your quarterback. Hoon to the left. Brenner to the near side here. Bunched up right in front of Mueller and Hoon are Talon Scott and Noah Alger. Gavin Goldman split to the left side. On 1st and 10 from the 23. Mueller wants to pass. Looking and finding Talon Scott, who has a knack for juggling and bubbling. Sometimes he touchdown. He catches this one and gets Notre Dame even closer to
out of bounds with a minute 14. Maybe that's why he's an excellent linebacker and not a skilled offensive player.
He's going to play Division I football probably as a linebacker, not as a fullback, correct?
I would guess so. Something tells me, yeah, he's more of a linebacker.
1st and 10 from the 11 for the Raiders. Clock at 1:14. Hoon to the right of Mueller. Mueller fakes the handoff, penalty flag thrown.
And I think it's a
Mueller
procedure.
gets inside the 5, down to about 3. Chad, I think you're right. That's going to push him back 5. And another penalty flag comes in late.
Well, we got
Lincoln clapping as if it's on Notre Dame.
So that's going to be 3rd for 5. So that's puts Notre Dame at 20 yards. And then what do we got?
So the initial call is a false start. Second call is a dead ball call. And I think it's going to be a personal foul. Indeed it is. And it's actually on Lincoln.
It's on Lincoln. So is it going to be 1st and half the distance?
So they'll walk it off 5 yards, and then they'll come back half the distance, correct?
I would think so, because you're going to be inside the 30.
What's interesting about that is that the Raiders actually lose a yard, correct?
Well, no, because you're going to be...
I thought they were at the 3. Now they're back to the 4.
Well, not from the penalty. The run doesn't count because you're...
True. So it remains 1st down.
It'll be 1st down and 3.
Yeah, from the 4.
Yes.
Braden Smith coming in with the play call as the play clock has slipped under 15. Raiders need to be in a little bit sense of urgency as the play clock hits 10. Play clock is at 6 as the Raiders come to the line of scrimmage. Mueller with 3 seconds on the play clock takes the snap, hands it off to Hoon. Hoon takes it in for the touchdown. Raiders add to the lead as Hoon takes it into the high. Another touchdown for Ivan Hoon, his 2nd of the day, and the Raiders' lead extends to 28-0.
And again, now we'll see. Do they? Can we get a good snap? Good snap. Good kick. Hold. Good kick.
They actually have somebody under center. You see this? And they fake it. And the kick is way left and way missed. So with 1:03 remaining in the 2nd quarter, the Raiders' advantage is up to 4 touchdowns, 28-0. Both touchdowns coming from, all 4 touchdowns coming from just 2 people.
Yep.
Wyatt Mueller had the first 2. Ivan Hoon had the last 2, as he's up to now 11 rushing touchdowns on the year, 12 altogether as the Raiders increase the lead. And Jack Cornell still having some conversations with the officials over that.
Well, I think your biggest complaint is the, hey, if my guy fair catches it, I don't care if it's just a high five slap or anything, don't touch him because we got to worry about their safety. And he doesn't want things to get out of hand. I don't know what the personal foul was. But again, you want to tell him is you have to protect both players, both teams, but a penalty is a penalty.
So 1:03 remaining in this 2nd quarter. I'm Ben Marth filling in for Eric Irvin today. Hopefully Eric will be back next week. I'm heading to the Mizzou, Alabama game a week from tomorrow, so you won't have me. So it may be the Chad and Corey show a week from tonight.
We'll see.
Maybe Tom Vandermoor. I mean, he's looking at me like he'd like to take a round at the microphone. Alex Tooley would be good. As the pooch kick there. More like a squib, as Chad alluded to. Taylor said it's misuse and Hook is down it there at about the 18-yard line.
And sometimes that's all you can do.
You take a knee here, Chad, or do you try and run a few plays?
Notre Dame only has one timeout. You have to.
Lincoln will have the ball coming
You
down the
can't
second.
turn the ball over if you're Lincoln in this situation. So do you run maybe a little gadget play or something, or do you just kind of run a dive up the middle a couple times? I think you definitely run a play on first down to see what happens.
On first down at 10, handoff goes to Bunner, and he doesn't go very far. Up to the 24-yard line, a 1-yard gain.
So, I
Second and
mean,
long.
you have to run at least another play.
Bunner's under 45 seconds.
And the 45-second clock is going. It's showing 30. So, again, you have plenty of time to do something. Notre Dame's kind of subbing in, going 2 safeties here just in case they try to throw it. But I think if you're Lincoln, you want to run something in your offense, try to get your guy on the edge.
Smith takes the handoff and gets a few up near the 30-yard line.
And I think now you take it to the half.
Clock is moving, and Lincoln is showing no sense of urgency in running another play. We are going to go to half with the Raiders having
Now
a
they're
big lead.
breaking the huddle.
Pardon me. They will run another play, apparently, as the clock is down to
Well, maybe
3
not.
seconds. And I think they just want to make a show out of it and pretend like they're going to play. And they don't. Very impressive first 24 minutes for the Raiders. 4 touchdowns, 2 by Wyatt Mueller on a 1-yard sneak and an 82-yard punt return. 2 by Ivan Hoon, both of the 5-yard variety. 4 touchdowns to give the Raiders that 28-0 lead. Very impressive stuff for Notre Dame in that first half. It looked, after that first drive where the Raiders stalled out, that Lincoln may have an opportunity. Lincoln did get the ball moving in their first possession, but they had that very critical penalty, a holding penalty on 3rd and 5, which backed them up 10 yards on their first possession. And ever since then, it's been all Notre Dame, and they lead 28-0 as we head to the intermission.
And the refreshment services Pepsi halftime show starts off. We have an extra some time, so Brother C will join us here at some point to break things
Are you
down.
really going to do this?
Yeah,
I
we're
thought
really
this
going
was
to
a
do.
joke.
No, this is.
See, this is the guy that says yes or no, not you. He's the voice
He
of the
can't
Raiders.
see what's going on.
He's the Hall of Famer. It's a great point made by your brother.
I know.
You're making fun of Eric's eyesight when you can't see either.
Hey,
So let's just call a spade at this point.
it's good to be working with someone with 2 eyes at work.
Yeah, well, if I took these contacts out, Chad,
Well, if I
won't
took
be
my
able to see Tom
glasses off-
Vandermoor, who's about 6 feet from me.
Yeah, the blurriness. But nice job by the Raiders. They scored, kind of recap the scoring here. First one was a 1-yard run by Mueller. Stegman kicked good. Mueller on the 82-yard touchdown, which, again, he caught the ball on the Raider sideline, ran to midfield. They kind of angle kicked it, but like you said, their team went right. The kick went left.
Yeah.
Mueller comes up the right side. Those guys are coming over, closing on him, and he goes to the left side and basically 50 yards untouched. Puts the Raiders up 14-0.
Now, you have coached special teams, and you've done a very good job of coaching special teams over the years. Was that just a breakdown there? I mean, it seems as though that was a complete and utter breakdown.
I don't know. Usually on kickoffs and punts, you kind of do the same thing. You have your guys on the right side go to the right, the left side go to the left. You have a couple headhunters flying down going after the ball. Everyone keeps contained. Everyone stays in their lanes. And you prevent that cutting across because your guys are supposed to have the backside angles. I don't know what that was. Because, honestly, he caught the ball at the 18, went up the Notre Dame sideline, and then it was like there's a couple guys around the 50.
Right.
And he went to the left where it looked like all the Lincoln players were and just scampered through and broke and touchdown. QND up.
So I am more than willing to take this headset off and let you and Corey have your fun, because I'm under the weather a little bit, so I need a break to just kind of
that's fine.
regroup
We can do
in
that.
the
Well,
second half.
Well, let's finish up the scoring. We had Hoon with a 6-yard TD, bad snap. Joseph Dolman. Both Dolman kids, I get confused. I've coached too many brothers over the years. I know. It's okay. It's been a long week. Bad snap. Dolman runs in the 2 points, puts Notre Dame up 22-0. Then in the half, Hoon with another touchdown run. PAT was no good. And 28-0, where we sit. What were your points for the Raiders?
I really think that Lincoln did what it needed to do in stopping Notre Dame on its first possession. They got the ball back. They had a nice drive. They get that holding penalty. Pushed them back 10 yards to the 50, and then they are forced to punt. And it just went sideways from that. You mentioned at the very outset that neither team can afford to get into 3rd and long, especially Lincoln, who doesn't throw it effectively. I thought that was the key to the first half. Notre Dame's coming out, and then it was all Notre Dame from there on out.
Yeah, as they're announcing homecoming court here, and good to see 3 football players in the junior attendance.
Braden Smith,
or
Jace
escorts.
Allensworth, and Gavin Dolan.
Great kids, great fans. I noticed there's as well, but this is a little chilly last night, but great night for parade. I didn't go. Saw all the photos of the floats and all the stuff, and really credit the kids for putting on such a homecoming. It's good to see them all back, people talking. We've had a lot of kind of fun. It's always, you have any homecoming stories?
Yes, not the ones that we should probably talk about on the air.
Because you didn't play a fall sport, correct? You were baseball?
I played football my freshman year,
okay,
and then knew that it was not my sport.
Okay.
Concentrated on basketball and baseball, which were my sports. But we didn't have lights. So it was always on Saturday afternoon. It was our homecoming game, which is really rare. So we didn't get to experience Friday night lights that Notre Dame has.
Well, the story I was going to tell was back to our Mid-State 6 days where I was a JV coach. So we'd play the homecoming game here Friday night, load up the bus at 6 a.m. and go to Peoria to play a noon 11 kickoff, get the guys back on the bus to get them home so they could get dressed and ready for the night. It was always.
And you made it, right?
Coach Lyman and I would joke is we're not pulling the dogs off till we're up 40 points and get this clock running so we can get on the bus and get out of here, and yelling at them in the locker room. Guys, I'm not listening to it.
Right.
If you want to take a half-hour shower, you can explain to your mom why we're not back in time.
That's true. It's not your fault, right?
Or your date's parents that want all the photos and they want you looking nice and don't put any eye black on. It won't come off right away. But no, it was always fun and always a great time, and really proud. And the Palmers did a great job last night on the performance. I saw on Facebook afterwards, and just all the fun. So
no doubt about that. I've been able to experience a lot of these, having this be my 3rd kid come through Notre Dame. So, Notre Dame does it right with all the pomp and circumstance, with the parade, with everything that else goes on. Last night they go from parade to pep assembly to weenie roast.
Yep.
So
we started that under Coach Cannell years ago.
So that's always fun, especially having a son as a freshman football player to kind of see all that. So without further ado, I think it is about time for me to pass the mic over to Corey Dusterhouse. I know he wants to watch.
We got about a
his beloved
5 minute.
Palmers
We got a
perform
5-minute
here,
section.
That's true. He is assistant coach of the Palm team. Oh, he's resigned. No, he's not. Okay. He's basically the treasurer of the VP of operations. That basically is a volunteer position. Not paid. Not even that, yeah. Right, he's been fired. Didn't even get his stickers. None of that. I'm going to take a break. Corey, you may want to wipe this thing out now with the sickness I've got going on.
He's willing to risk it.
Corey and Chad, the 2 C's, the brother C is about to take you through the next 10 minutes.
Forget the Mannings. It's double deuce time.
You recording this?
For posterity's sake, we'll find a way. Got to give a big shout out to the Reese boys over at the garage tuning in to watch us. So we thought, in honor of homecoming, welcome to the broadcast. And since we're on we're streaming, we're not over the airwaves. So in honor of homecoming, Corey and I have thought of different things. I posted it on Facebook. We're both 90s, growing up in the 90s. MTV had celebrity death matches.
Well, but before we start that, if we're replacing the Mannings, who's Peyton and who's Eli?
Well, I think it's kind of obvious. I'm Peyton. I'm the older one. You're Eli, or you could be Cooper.
No, I'll take Eli. He's the one that beat Brady so many times.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Give me Eli.
So this makes up for years ago when I was a JV coach. Adam Wyman, myself, we struggled in the first half and chewed their butts at halftime, and Corey was one of my assistants. And after the game, I completely forgot to call him up to say anything. He's never let me live that down. So,
many times you did that.
We're going to do this Celebrity Deathmatch QND Homecoming Edition. Some of these people you may know, some of these people you may not. But this is all in good fun. Unfortunately, some of these people are no longer with us, but we know they're shining down on us and always in our thoughts and minds. This is meant for humor. So the first one, the instrumental hardcore match. Pam Potter, former band director, versus Monica Schultz, former chorus director. And I know they were friends and got along, but just kind of fun. You know, the story I'll go with is...
Do I have to take either one?
Yeah, we can just say it's fun, but I'll never forget, I think you were playing at the time, the halftime show at Flynn Stadium, I believe. They had just put a thing that if the band wasn't off the field in time for 3 minutes, it was a flag on the home team. And Coach Cannell got a 15-yarder to that game.
No, that was here.
Or that was here. That was the first year we were here.
That was my freshman year.
Okay. And it was one of those things of, I didn't want him out there anyway.
I saw the drum major stand real quiet.
Yes. Back when we had a grass field, and both people did a lot of good. The band still performing. The Potters were an instrumental part of that. Kind of fun just to see. We always talk sport versus sport, band versus chorus. I thought that was kind of fun.
Off the board on that one. I'm going off the board. Who you taking?
I'm taking Pam.
I'm going off the board.
You're taking.
No, I'm taking Keith Wiemelt.
Coming in from nowhere?
Coming in from nowhere.
Yeah, that is MTV Celebrity Deathmatch style.
Keith was a classmate of mine.
And again, another one shining down on us.
He was one that Ray Wiest will remember, and you and I will remember for playing the A-Team theme song one night when we were doing the scorers table at the old basketball game. He was a great guy. I think he would try to come in and the last second and take it.
Yep.
Take it from both of them.
There we go. Our next match of the night, and this is one that I know a lot of groups are going to love and think back to, is I'm calling it the lawnmower match. John Smith versus the Pads. Both guys out here on not on the turf field, but we can go over to the grass. Both guys in a lawnmower demolition.
I use this phrase loosely. In their primes.
Yes.
Okay.
This would be one.
This is tough.
If we could do claymation, would be awesome. And God bless Paz and miss that big guy every day. Had a lot of fun over the years, a lot of road trips,
I
experience.
love John, but I got to take Paz.
I think Paz pulls out the old stomp and stomps John Smith.
Paz would have a crowd behind him, and I think that would carry him to a victory, a close one.
There we go. The next one up is I'm calling this the Bad Blood match. This might be the biggest heel turn since Andre the Giant. Germany versus England. Fred Bloss hair, and ironically their rooms were together as long as I remember, versus the late great Dwayne Doc Preston. Now mind you, Doc is coming out British Bulldog style with the whatever the English flag is behind him, being led to the ring by the legendary Mr. Chewy, my dog, my English Bulldog.
This is one that you it's like picking a child. I can't do it, so I'm going off the board again.
I got Doc winning it.
I can't pick between the two.
I know, that's a tough one. That's a tough
So
one.
I'm going off the board on this one. There's a third member in that line of rooms.
I do remember. I know who you're going with.
All right, and it's not what you think. Coming out of the crowd will be one Bill Starkey.
Laying the smack down.
No, Germany and England unite,
Uh-oh.
and it's a tie.
It's a free-for-all.
It's a tie. They knock each other out. I cannot choose between all three of them. You have to bring Starkey into that one. You got to have Germany, England, and U.S. German, English, and U.S. history.
But I just like the idea of Doc Preston wearing the old, I can't think of what they called the British flag, but being led to the ring, British Bulldog style by Mr. Chewy. And if someone wants to pay for these claymations, I have a bunch of ideas. I think it would be fun. And finally, in the first main event of the evening,
How many main events you have?
there's two. And these are both legendary matches. Originally, this was going to be a hair-for-hair match. But when you find out the contestants, you'll know why that cutting off their hair really doesn't matter anymore. A battle for the pit. Scott Douglas versus Eric Horn. And the reason why I call it the hair for the hair is they're both constantly rubbing their heads during the games, and two great friends of mine, two guys that I know get along great, but this is all about fun. And they both, would sit there, rub their heads during games.
No.
I want a winner of these two.
I got this one. I'm gonna call Eric Orrin on this one because in the long stretch of titles there with the student section, how Eric would mess with the student section when they would do the cheer.
The mirror.
Yeah, when they would do the same thing he would, and Eric would literally just go down on his knees and make the entire student section just wait down there with him until they were screaming in pain. So he's got stamina. I think he could outlast Douglas.
Well, I'm going to go with Orrin as well, and my reason is, and I love Scotty D to death, had the pleasure of him riding when Sam played football, but Scotty isn't always on time, so he loses via count out.
I mean, if you're going MTV Celebrity Deathmatch style, you can have interference there. You got Sam on down. You got a lot of kids that could come in there and cause some interference.
And I would give Douglas the edge because he's still got a lot of kids.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, in this one, I know she had left before your senior year, but the ultimate grammar match. And some of these students aren't going to know the one, but everyone knows the other. We're going to have Mrs. Last versus Mrs. Kaloje. And Kaloje was, they're honest to goodness. Everyone on this list is awesome. They've done a lot for the school.
I know who you're going to go with.
Those are those two teachers that probably were the toughest ones that if you went to college and came back, you were like, thank you.
Oh, my God. I know you had Kaloje. I didn't. She was gone before I even here, so that's why I have to go with Last. Because I'll tell you right now, without Last, and we would sit in college. This is a true story. I told this to many players. We would sit in class, and sometimes, the teacher would say, all right, you got to write a 2-page paper by the end of the week. And everyone would just moan. And I'm just like, guys, just quiet. Make sure she doesn't go to 5.
Yeah. No,
I got to go with Last.
They were great teachers. I'm going to go with Last, too, just because she was Mrs. Kaloje was here for a long time and did a lot of good.
Was she here? She was here for like 20 years, wasn't she?
Probably.
30.
And, I think Mrs. Last was 30 and just recently retired. But a little bit of fun.
No, wait a minute. I got 2.
Okay.
I got 2. I want to bring John Smith back. Okay. And I got tables, ladders, and chairs.
I'm not in this.
No. John Smith, Rich Reese. Once again, 2 great people.
I have Reese and another one here coming up after this, but I got to go Big Daddy Reese. I know they're listening, and he's shining down on this place many nights. Great photo of the Rich Reese Way sign that they have out here on the field with Richie and Randy underneath it, and good friends of mine. And they're over at the house in the garage watching us. But I can't go away from Big Daddy.
So, sometimes you lay down for the great people in front of you.
That's true.
And I think John would do that. Rich was a great person.
So mine is a battle of the bus drivers. And as he walks in the door right now, we're bringing out 2 school buses, and it's a demo derby leading to the death match. Alex Tooley versus my favorite bus driver, Big Daddy Rich Reese. I don't think it's a contest. I think he wipes the floor with Tooley.
Oh, I'm going off the board. Earl the bus driver.
Oh, ooh, good one.
That's a good one.
That comes out of nowhere. But, well, thank you, Brother
all
C,
the
for
players
joining
know
us.
who
Hopefully
Earl
everyone got a kick out of this. Feel free to make your comments. We had numerous ones with Ray Weiss, Joe Obert, Bob Sheffield, Coach Cannell versus Sister Mary, and so many more. But Mr. Marth is ready to go. We got a minute on the clock. The teams will be coming out.
Guys, let anybody drive.
Let's get one prediction.
Oh my gosh, you're on there? You're
I'm
teaching?
driving it.
For the
That's
sport
big
that
time.
My
matters.
shoes are like, you can't drive that bus.
How's the
Come
Palmer
on.
prep
Let's go.
going for
Drive
state
kids home.
competition?
They had a
Actually,
ball
state
on
has
it.
not
That was
started
the
yet.
perfect
They wait till they get
Good.
done with homecoming, and then they start
Yes.
state. I don't think they've announced their.
I'm glad I need
They're,
someone to follow up with
and
some
Mark
of their
shakes his head.
So it
I
sounds
think
like
it
Okay.
was
Well,
well.
that's
I
good.
know Marth just
Good.
cannot
Like I
wait.
said, I got to
For
Cannot
state-
wait.
Yeah.
For state
Right.
palm competition. He looks
Exactly.
thrilled. So,
Get on the
well, thank you,
PA.
Brother C. Hopefully everyone
Happy
out there
homecoming
enjoyed
to
it.
Everyone out there.
We'll
Yep.
hire you.
I think we killed
You're
enough time,
hired.
so I'll
Yes,
give
we
it
did.
back to Mr. Marth.
Skip the interview.
You should see the way I take her.
Still on the air
Leave
after
ball
all
hit
these
occur.
times. I thought the assistant
And
to the
other
palm
things.
coach was going to ramble on there for a little bit when I asked how's competition season.
Treasurer, not assistant.
Treasurer. He's been demoted again.
Or director of operations. I don't know, something like that.
Director of palm operations. Yeah,
The Hall of Famer, you knew he'd have this comment.
he's had a comment. Eagle Eye Irvin, we're calling him tonight for calling that short on the third down. But what do you want to see from the Raiders this half as they come out?
Well, just to recap real quick, 28-0 Notre Dame leads. They scored 4 times, obviously, in the first quarter, first half, 2 touchdowns by Wyatt Mueller, another 2 from Ivan Hoon. And I think you just, Chad, kind of do what you did in the first half. I mean, there's really nothing special that you want to add to this. I would like to see Hunter Schuckman get a few more passes, get some confidence still built in him. I think he's going to be the guy moving forward. I know Wyatt's probably going to have his fair share of snaps, but they really believe in Hunter Schuckman. And I think there's reasons to believe in him. He's played well in spurts. He's had some struggles, but all high school quarterbacks do. It's not like he's immune to making mistakes at 16, 17, 18 years old.
But this is what, 8 starts this year, and did he have 3 last year, 4 last
At
year?
most.
So, I mean, you got a kid who doesn't have 10 starts in his career, still a young, only a junior. I kind of agree with you. I want to see Notre Dame establish their offense, continue to build some confidence. Defense is flying around, doing everything you ask of them. Finish the game strong. I think, ideally you'd like to get 2 more touchdowns as quickly as possible, get the running clock, rotate in the young guys, let them get experience playing in a homecoming game, and get healthy, stay healthy, get ready for next week. Again, you can't I think Jack and the staff have done a great job of keeping the guys focused with all the distractions of homecoming. Next week, you got to take care of business on the road. Everything's in the IHSA hands, but going in 8-1 is a lot better than 7-2.
Well, and your only loss is to one of the
7A
top
power.
teams in Class 7A.
Yeah.
So that speaks for itself as well. And I thought you brought up a pretty valid point. I don't know if you said it just a second ago, but you have said it throughout this broadcast about the importance of the Notre Dame defense and continuing to build on every week, just getting better and better. They've given up 53 points total since a week 1 loss to Quincy High, and 21 of that came a week ago. So, you're talking about a veteran-led defense, knows exactly what it needs to be done. You want them to continue to stay healthy. Health continues to be a monumental key for this Raider football team. Not to take anything away from the backups, but we're talking about seasoned veteran guys that have been through the ropes that have the starting.
Well, it's nice to see us out more like Bear Hooks get in the game, run the ball a little bit. And I know we had the one fumble in the one game, but that was thrown into situation. Ivan was knocked out. But yeah, get those kids out here. Yes, get them. There's John Venberlo. Yeah, there's so many guys that if you can get them a taste, Notre Dame's losing a lot of guys after this year. A lot of quality seniors. It's next man up, but if you can get those guys a taste, so next August, they're not coming out for their first game under the lights. They've been here, they played in some games, same in the playoffs. Ideally, you're going to like your first round matchup, hopefully. Notre Dame should be a pretty high seed if they can continue to take care of business and get all these guys some experience because, I won't be here next year.
Ivan won't either.
Ivan won't be here.
Taylor.
Scott won't be here. Auger won't be here.
Jack Brenner won't be here.
Brenner won't be here.
Kick by Brenner. Speaking of which, corralled by Keeler. He's got one man to beat, and that's Brenner. Brenner will push him out of bounds, but not before. That lane opened significantly, and Keeler brought it all the way back inside the Raider 35-yard line to the 34. So that's where Lincoln starts.
And that's what you want. You want Notre Dame to take because, you want some adversity. So when you face it as the year goes along and in the playoffs, your guys are accustomed to it. They've overcome it. It's not a shock. That's why I think that Springfield win is going to be huge for this group going forward.
Tate Johnston, the quarterback. He'll hand it off to Bunner. Bunner bulldozing his way to a first down and more. Jace Allensworth brings down Bunner, but not before he gets to the 22-yard line. A 12-yard pickup on Lincoln's first play from scrimmage to start the third quarter.
And we talked about, the coverage on the punts and different things, and that was a place of where the Raiders let a seam open, and then not Jacksonville, but the Lincoln player had the speed to take advantage of that seam.
Bunner gets the carry, connects with his quarterback there as he was coming through the line, but man, does he again.
He's running hard.
Buries his head, Chad. Goes all the way inside the 10-yard line, down to the 8, 15-yard gain.
And right now, they're running all over the Raider defense, and the Raiders, again, if you give up a score, regroup, catch your breath, it's not the end of the world. But I know Coach Moore and those guys like having that shutout.
They will spot at the 9, so a 14-yard gain. On first down, not much there. Maybe got a yard, as that was Bunner, who has gotten the bulk, if not all of these carries so far to start the third quarter.
And he's that fullback in this offense that everything else runs off him. If he starts gaining 5, 6, 7 yards a pop, then you focus on shutting down between the tackles, and then they slip one to the outside.
Second and goal from the 8. They'll go to Keeler this time, and he's trying to sneak around the edge. Does, but then is corralled at the 5. Several Raiders in on the tackle, as well as Kellen Mangan and a host of other Raiders. Looks as though Wyatt Mueller was around the football. It'll be third down and goal for Lincoln at the 5.
And I think you're definitely in two-down territory. I mean, you're down 28. Field goal does you nothing.
Yep.
So can the Raiders defense hold strong here on these next two plays?
You think Bunner's getting the ball here?
Probably.
Bunner gets it, and he walks in easy into the end zone. Touchdown, Lincoln. Bunner with the rushing touchdown of the season. And Lincoln is on the scoreboard, thanks in large part, Chad, to that very long pooch kick that resulted in Keeler bringing it back about 50 yards.
And will they kick it? And they're lining up too.
Kicker for Lincoln is number 42, Lucas Melton. He's a junior. Backup quarterback, and boy, is that not pretty. That barely got to the Notre Dame line of scrimmage. So no good on that. But Lincoln does get on the board here to start the third quarter.
And again, this is what you want. You want to challenge. You want to challenge your defense. Morrison's out there kind of going, hey, this game ain't over. You still got to play. We still got to go. We got to come out. We can't come out flat because it's homecoming and whatnot. And Coach Baker's in there, I'm sure, talking to his guys as well, going, wake up. This game ain't over. We got to keep fighting.
Well, thankfully for the Raiders, they have had a 4-touchdown lead. Now it's 3. Now you still have that comfortable advantage, but if there ever was a wake-up call in this game for QND, it's right now.
Yeah, you got to see, you got to be alert for them to try some type of pooch or short kickoff. And
10:07 remaining in quarter number 3. QND leading 28-6. Lincoln Rail Splitters, who come into this game with a record of 4 wins and 3 losses, playing for their playoff lives these next 2 weeks. Oliver Cutler's got a huge goal. It does close fairly quickly, and number
nice
42,
return.
the kicker, Bill faded. What looked to be a point-after attempt a few moments ago comes down and gets a probable touchdown-saving tackle of Oliver Tripla that was made by Lucas Melton. First down and 10 for the Raiders at their own 46.
An update from Williamsville. Williamsville picks off the ball, sets up a Miller TD run, tied at 14. Maroa Forsyth, Williamsville at the half. So, again, huge implications on IHSA seeding.
Maroa Forsyth, by the way, fans, the #1 team in Class 2A. That's why we're giving you those score updates. As Shuckman will
did he drop it?
Try to shovel pass it, and it was way too late on that shovel pass attempt. And it's ruled a fumble and a disaster.
Yes. And this is what we talk about. You're up 28-0. It's homecoming. These are kids. Sometimes they lose track of that focus. And the QND coaches have to get these guys going, get them awake, and this game ain't over. Even being up for 4 TDs, you still got to come out and play.
On first down and 10 for Lincoln, wanting to pass is Johnston. He gets hit by Charleston Williams and nearly picked off by Wyatt Mueller, who would have been a very difficult interception. Still almost came down with it. It'll be second down and 10. Your name just a second ago, Chad, on that play. Hunter Shuckman just needs to go down or try your hardest to just throw it away, and he was caught where he couldn't throw it away. He probably should just go down.
You got to just take the sack. Take the sack. If that first read's not there and you feel it, tuck it and run. The key thing is you can't give him the ball back.
Bunner going nowhere. Raider defense answers the call. Nolan Earhart in on the tackle for the Raiders. Very nicely done. He and Alger and Charleston Williams really kind of go unnoticed sometimes on this defense, but their ends are as good as I can recall since number 45, and I'm trying to remember what
we've had the
Jack
Hochschlags.
Knight's other defensive end when they made it all the way to the semifinals. As the snap is to Johnston.
Number 20.
Charleston brings him down inside Lincoln territory. Well done on the sack. And that's going to bring up 4th and very long.
And he's kind of roughed up a little bit there. The Raiders have hit all night, and that's what you need to get this team sparked, woken up, as we're under 8 minutes, or under 9 minutes, to play in the third.
That is Charleston Williams' 3rd sack. Chad, he had a wonderful play last week in the open field to avoid what would have been a long gain and a bona fide first down. And this time, he comes up with a huge sack to force and long. He's made a couple of big plays.
And the official went over to check on him just because I think of the contact. So nice job by the officials, worried about the player safety as they line up to punt.
Jaden Gully standing at about his own 32, and it was partially blocked by Jace Allensworth. The Raiders will just let this one die at about the 39-yard line. Downed by Lincoln. Jace Allensworth blocks setting up Notre Dame with decent field position to start their second possession.
And that's what you want to see. The defense comes out, gets 3 and out, gets the ball back, good position. Now the offense has to regroup, catch your breath. I want to see, hopefully, Shuckman's still out there. Run the ball with him.
You've got who? You've got Smith and Joseph Dolman lined up to the far side. Talon Scott as the fullback. Gavin Dolman here as the near side receiver. Ball's on the left hash. First down and 10 for the Raiders. Shotgun goes to Shuckman. Hands it off to Hudl. Hudl's got a break. He didn't trip up himself. He may have taken that the entire way. But anyway, he kind of tackled himself.
He kind of, I think he saw the umpire there and kind of was trying to go around it and just kind of the old turf monster or grass monster took him down. So
6-yard gain, nonetheless, for Ivan Hoon, as the ball is just outside the 46-yard line of the Raiders. 2nd down and 4. Clock continues to move. 7:40 left in the third quarter. It's 28-6. QND. Hand off to Hoon. And Hoon is trying to bully his way for the first down on the field. That's just pure second effort.
And that's a nice job of Hoon, not giving up, keeping his feet moving, falling forward. The Raiders coming in, helping push that pile.
Got an injured Lincoln player on the far side of the field.
And like I said, take your breath, Notre Dame. You gave up a long return, forced them to 3rd down, had the bad turnover, the first turnover of the game that I remember. And now, you got the ball back, run Hoon, get your offense in flow, keep things going. You're still up 3 scores. They don't have a passing game. That's one thing the Raiders have kind of stopped their passing game. So be ready for the options.
051-600.
Play fakes.
051-600.
At a QND football game than the announcing of the field. We just had some oohs and ahs
Ticket is
from the
the best
crowd as Tom Vandervoort
Let's
read out
get
the
2 tickets to Internet. Yellow ticket, 051-600.
Freddie Beardstown. It was the second-round playoff game back in 2019.
That was a
maybe
nice
one of the
one.
largest crowds here ever. I think I won close to $700.
Yep, I was going to say I think the biggest ones I remember when it comes to 50-50 was in the mid-90s, Pittsfield, first-round playoff games. I think a couple of them were $1,000.
Holy cow.
But it was, and I tell people those were the biggest crowds I've seen here because it was different because it was a grass field. It was 4 or 5 deep. You had an alley and houses across the thing with people on. You had the people, it was just, and we're 40 minutes from Pittsfield. So
the other defensive end I was thinking about a second ago from the 2019 Becker.
Yep.
Yes, he and Jack Marth were tremendous defensive ends leading that 19 defense. Here's Shuckman passing. Screen set up to Ivan Hoon. Hoon gets around one tackler and rides the second tackler for positive yardage. Tackle made by number 12. That's 8 and 5 before Hoon gets to the 41-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd and short after a 7-yard gain.
And that's a nice, easy pass. Get Shuckman confidence. Get him feeling good. Keep him in the flow of the game. Bless you. Get this offense feeling good, confidence, especially after the turnover.
So 2nd down and 3 for the Raiders. Shuckman in the shotgun with Hoon to his right. He will hand it off to Hoon. Hoon is brought down. Very nice open field tackle by Peyton Bunner. Had to say an MVP in this game for Lincoln. It's been him.
He's been making plays sideline to sideline. Nice linebacker.
Had all the rushing yards last on the drive with the touchdown run. Brings up 3rd and short. It's 3rd and 4 for the Notre Dame Raiders after a loss of 1 at the 42-yard line of Lincoln. 28-6. Raiders lead again on the road next week at Decatur MacArthur. And then to be announced following that as far as what will happen in round 1. We all are hoping for the Raiders to be able to return here for week 1 of the playoffs. We'll see. Hand off to Triplett, who's got the first down and more.
And here's
36.
28 unanswered points for Bullets football since starting the game down 14-0. They lead 28-14 over Maroa Forsyth, which, again, that 19 team you talk about lost to Williamsville. So, we know it's a quality program. It's a big test.
Team that went on to win the whole thing.
Yes. And, they're up 28-14 over Maroa, which, again, PowerPoints come into play and all this stuff, but at least you'll be able to get a tape of the team that was able to handle their punch and come back and take it.
Triplett, who's got a burst of speed, gets inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line, gain of 7, first down, 2nd and 3. after Oliver Triplett getting some good work here in this second drive for Notre Dame in the second half.
And as long as you've been around Notre Dame, because Eric and I talk about this is one of the nicest 1-2 punches I remember at tailback. I mean, I go back to probably Spoonmore and Paul. Spoony was a big back in 04, and Paul was a fast guy.
Hand off. No, he's going to fake it. Is Shuckman throws it up for grabs. Pulled down by Jack Brenner. Yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Raiders on the pass from Shuckman to Brenner.
And that was just one of those plays where he just kind of threw it up there and let your big receiver go get the ball. And Brenner did a great job.
It takes, right?
Yeah, it's sometimes people want to complicate things with terms and whatnot, and just your athlete versus their athlete, give your athlete a chance, and good things sometimes happen.
Raiders lead by 22, 4.5 remaining in quarter number 3, with the ball at the 21-yard line of Lincoln's. In motion is Triplett. Shuckman will toss it to Triplett. Out in the flat, he's got some room. He's not going to be touched. 21-yard touchdown. The Raiders on the board for the first time here in the second half. They lead 34-6.
And he ran to the left, cut it back to the right, took it to the house, and really, I would say, up until that play, which was a big play, which is good for a touchdown, that was really a nice drive by Notre Dame. They threw it a couple times, they ran different plays, and they marched down and scored. Now can we get the
snap was good, the hold was good. Goes awry. 4:26, make it 4:25 remaining in this third quarter. Notre Dame's lead is a healthy one, 34-6 in their final regular season home contest. Lincoln is at home next week. They'll take on Jacksonville in what could be a winner-takes-all postseason game.
Yes, Jacksonville's playing Decatur, which I haven't been able to find a score.
I would think they would beat Jalen.
I would too.
I'll tell you what, Jacksonville was impressive. I really like that team. They're talking with their athletic director after the game, Ryan Van Aken, who does a really good job at Jacksonville. It's very hospitable. We really appreciate all he's
very
done.
nice place.
I mean, tremendous place. And he said that if we could match our freshman athletes with our tremendous upperclassmen offensive line, then we'd be a heck of a team.
Yeah, and they had skill guys, and they just didn't have a passing offense. I think they were too one-dimensional, and again, Notre Dame is very good in taking away what you do best, trying to force you to do things you're not comfortable with.
4:25 remaining in the third quarter. Ben Marth alongside Chad Dusterhouse. Eric Irvin will be back on the Raider Sports Network coming up next week, we hope, as that ball floats into the end zone.
And that kind of looked like it was almost going to die short of the end zone for a split
you
second.
Be really careful.
You have to, because A, it's a live ball, and B, you don't want to start just by misplaying it, start the ball inside your own 5, especially the way the defense is starting to take over. The D linemen are getting pressure. And do they go back to the fullback, or are the Raiders able to take it away from them?
34-6, 4:25 remaining, quarter number 3. Raiders up by 28 points. Well on their way to their 7th win in succession this season. Johnston's the quarterback on 1st and 10, takes the snap, hands it off to Bunner. Bunner's second effort will give him 6 yards or so. Nice open field tackle for the Raiders. I believe that was Brenner who made the stop.
Can you need some help?
So the ball is spotted at the 25-yard line. It is a 5-yard gain on first down. With up 2nd and 5 for the Rail Splitters.
And again, that's kind of the play they need on first down. 3, 4, 5 yards. Sets up a second and manageable. But they're just not going to that big play on 3rd and long.
Handoff goes to Smith. Charston Williams is there alongside, I believe, Cole Hilding on the tackle for the Raiders. Picks up a few.
It brings up a 3rd and 2.5.
3rd and manageable. This Lincoln team has made the playoffs 3 times and in its existence. Made it last year, 1984, but prior to that, 1975 was the first time How blessed has Notre Dame been, Chad? They
Well-
have 26 playoff berths in the last 30 years.
Being I just had my 30th anniversary or reunion, we didn't have one, but that was last year. I feel like I've been here for all of these. Oh, false start.
And I think Notre Dame drew them.
Well,
is that legal, Chad? It looks as though the Notre Dame.
They're going to talk about it here. It's going to be Notre Dame encroachment.
Because Noah Alger, did you see what he did there, Chad? He rolled over as to try and get them to snap the football. And that's a delay game on the defense, is it not?
I don't know if it's a delay, but it's a 5-yard penalty, which will be a first down.
I know in college football it is. You cannot clap. You
Well,
cannot move.
okay, they're calling it the 15-yarder.
Wow.
So that's definitely
Unsportsmanlike, I guess, huh?
unsportsmanlike. Did he come across and touch him, I wonder? Or did he make a noise? There's so many things.
You can do that, Chad.
Yeah,
you can't roll over backwards to try and get them to.
Yeah, I don't. That's a unique play, but
Now penalties all over the place after that 15-yard.
and I think that's a false start. Yep.
So that will back up Lincoln 5 yards as this game has turned into sort of a tortoise pace right now.
It's clock's running. We're 2:53 to go in the third quarter. It'll be 1st and 15.
It's a good thing we have Alex Tooley doing clock this week and not the guy who usually.
I don't know. I kind of like that other guy. He's a lot more organized, and he seems like he has a lot more going
Alex
on.
just kind of shows up. Look at this guy. He's Hollywood over here doing the clock. Here's Bunner.
Nice
Knocked
job.
down by Jace Allensworth with a big hit.
Yeah, that was a nice job. He kind of went a step or two to his right. There wasn't anything there. Put his head down and ran forward and picked up the 5 yards, getting it to 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they get the penalty yardage back. So Lincoln has it 2nd and 10 from its own 43, trailing in this game 34-6 with the clock moving. 3:20, make it 2:20 left in this third quarter.
No, it's 15 seconds on the play clock. They're just kind of getting up there. They
We saw
usually
this
run
last
motion.
Hand off to the fullback, and he's going nowhere. That was number 42.
And we got a flag, and I think Notre Dame just got a personal foul.
Lincoln runner was.
Or did the Notre Dame guy? There was a Notre Dame guy and a Lincoln guy on the far side, and they were both ended up on the ground. Well, that was Auger, but it's 12, which I think is Allen.
12 is Earhart.
Or Earhart.
Nolan Earhart.
That's
3
what I
is
think.
Allensworth. Alger's 44, but I thought maybe it was a personal foul. It's going to be on Lincoln, I guess. They're pointing in their direction.
Okay. Well, like I said, I saw. Oh, it's offsetting.
Both teams getting a personal foul.
So, and both guys kind of ended up on the ground.
We saw this last week, get a little chippy. I don't mind a little chippiness every once in a while, Chad, but it can't cost you in the penalties.
Well, we talked about the holding on Notre Dame on their first drive of the game. They had everything going their way. We're running, and then bam, you're 3rd and 15, and it's hard to score.
So we're inside 2 minutes of this third quarter. It is 3rd down and 10. Actually, we're about 9. The jet sweep is given to Smith. And he gets around a couple of tacklers, still on his feet. Going to pick up the first down, I think. Yes, he will.
Yep.
After about a 12-yard gain,
He
runs Smith.
He runs hard. He's very patient on his jet sweeps. Kind of a nice size player. Really good athlete.
Their entire backfield are seniors. Quarterback this year, 3 running backs. Gabe Smith, Peyton Bunner, Kyle Keeler, all seniors. Their offensive line has 2 seniors and 3 juniors. The interior offensive line of Lincoln's are all juniors. They'll all be back next year, but this is a veteran-led offense.
Yep.
Johnston will hand off to Melton.
He runs hard.
Between him and Bunner, they are tough to bring down, and Melton's a guy, Chad, who will be back next year as a junior. So you would see a lot of the workload for him increase a year from now.
And if he puts on another 10, 15, 20 pounds in the offseason, he's going to be a hoss. He's going to be a nice, big, strong fullback.
In their
hard.
offense.
In this offense especially, that's the key.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9 for Lincoln at the Raider 45-yard line. Quincy Notre Dame leading 34-6. A minute 10 left in the third quarter. Bunner is the man that is running at this point, brought down by his legs. Helen Agnew to the 41-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup. 3rd and a short 5 coming up for Lincoln.
After one, Geneseo 6. After one, I know it's 42 minutes old. It's the last post I have. Quincy 14, Green Machine 6. So Devils kind of a slow start, but
Johnston wants to throw on 3rd and 6. Yeah, he may run it. No, he's going to pass. Pass is caught by Bunner, and it's going to be a 1st down. Tackle on the far side of the field, Ty Meyer. After that pass and catch, fresh set of downs for the Rails.
And the Raider defense, being forced to play a little more here tonight. I think they may have kind of had, okay, we got this coming out, and credit Lincoln for saying, we're going to be here all night. We're not going anywhere.
Lincoln run one more play before the end of the quarter. It seems as though they're being very patient here, as the clock is now inside 5 seconds. And no, there will not be a play called. So we'll head to the 4th quarter. Notre Dame nursing a comfortable 34-6 lead as the teams each had a touchdown. Started with a 5-yard touchdown following the long kickoff return by Killer to start quarter number 3. And then, of course, the Raiders came right back and capped things off with that big Oliver triplet touchdown to make this a 34-6 contest as we head to quarter number 4 and Lincoln on the doorstep.
And, again, this is Jack's talking to the officials because I think he's not okay with some things. I think he felt in the offsetting penalties, yeah, you got my guy for reacting, but what would you do? What are you going to do? Did he really do it, or did he just, what's going on? Because they're talking, and I know he's still upset over the fair catch interference.
Yeah, but I'm guessing he forgot about that. That was a while ago.
Well, but
I think they're talking about
I
maybe
think
the offsetting personal foul.
That's where I think this is, and he's just wanting an explanation where, did he cut the player and you flagged him for pushing him down after, there's a lot of things that happen.
The 15-yard offside.
Yeah,
that was questionable.
And hopefully he's got his answer. Hopefully the defense shakes it off and gets things going here. And as we go into the 4th quarter.
1st down and 10. Lincoln with the football at the Raider 26. Snap goes to Johnston. Wants to throw. Looking towards the end zone as a man. Caught by Gabe Smith. Touchdown. 26-yard pass and catch from Tate Johnston to Gabe Smith. That's Johnston's 6th. Make it 5th touchdown pass this year. And Gabe Smith's 1st touchdown reception, and cuts the lead to 34-12.
And again, this is one of these things where the Raider defense, that was a nice play action pass, and he was open by 3-4 yards. It wasn't just, he outjumped him as they go for 2 on the sweep, give it to Smith.
Yep, not going anywhere.
Tackled by Scott. I couldn't really see.
Charleston Williams coming up to support. He's had a big game.
Yes.
Charleston Williams made some really nice plays and limits Lincoln to just 6 points in that possession. 11:55 remaining. Notre Dame 34, Lincoln 12. Raiders at Decatur MacArthur next Friday night. And Lincoln will be home to take on Jacksonville. Which will be a very entertaining football game if you're in that part of the state, with 2 teams potentially having to win
to get in. And don't expect a lot of passing.
Correct.
In that game.
2 teams that love to run the football.
If you like to run the football in old school,
It'll be a quick game.
should be quick. Tonight's been fairly quick. I mean, we're 11:55 to play, just before 9 o'clock. And, nice drive. They went 80 yards. The defense, maybe they're getting a little tired. Maybe they're, have picked up some keys that now Lincoln's going away from.
Raiders back, waiting to receive. That would be Wyatt Mueller and Gavin Dolman. In front of them, Joseph Dolman. And Oliver Triplett, as it's going to go to Mueller at the 20. Mueller, left side. We'll get across the 30 up to the 35. So a 15-yard kickoff return for Wyatt Mueller. That's where the Raider offense will take over, leading by 3 touchdowns and 11 minutes, 49 seconds remaining.
And if I'm the QND offensive coaches, I'm gathering my guys. We got this, relax. But I think right now you need a nice, long run plays, pound it, have your big guys up front, take over this game, burn some clock, march down the field and get a touchdown. Bless you, sir.
Pardon me.
And
sorry about that.
What's this? The dude's
69. Frank Sanders came almost back to Shuckman and said hello to him before he even got the football.
He almost looked like he was lining up to go out as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
In the wrong uniform.
A little overzealous, you could say, by Frank Sanders, the Lincoln defensive end who came 5 yards across the line of scrimmage, and the ball wasn't even close to being snapped.
And the officials weren't even doing anything.
No, I think they're just as surprised as we all are.
Yeah, there we go.
If you've ever seen encroachment before, that would be it.
I mean, in the NFL, they would call that unabated to the quarterback.
Yeah. So, excuse me, first down and 5 for the Raiders at the 41-yard line after the 5-yard penalty. Handoff to Ivan Hoon, straight up the gut, following Talon Scott. And Hoon is going to be very close to a first down as he gets across the 45 to the 46.
And I think he's got it. We haven't seen anything yet, which again, let the clock.
I don't know.
And they're going to call him.
Yeah,
now they just say
a half yard short.
Oh, they're giving it to him.
They are giving it to him. Or they're not. Pardon me.
Nope. Second down. They're going to call it short.
So the initial spot looked to be about a half yard closer to the line to gain, but they back it up, so it's 2nd and inches for the Raiders at the 46-yard line of their own. Shuckman takes the snap. Hoon pushing his way to a first down. The initial hit would not have would have prevented him from getting a first down, but that extra effort pushes the pile a few more yards, and the Raiders at 1st and 10.
And again, if the Raiders burst off a big run, great. Right now, you want to get confidence to your guys up front. You want to get Shuckman confident. You want to keep this clock running, grind the ball, pound the ball, and execute.
First down and 10 for QND. Ball at the 48-yard line of the Raiders. Shuckman wants to pass. Got time, and he's got a man. Goes deep. Brenner catches. And Brenner's still on his feet. Inside the 15, down to the 12.
And that
was nicely done.
That was the old double move. I couldn't tell if it was hitch and go or out and up, but
that was a 40-yard gain.
Everyone bit, and great ball by Shuckman. Maybe a little late, maybe put a little too much under it, but Brennan was so wide open. Great catch. Get the ball.
He hits it in stride. That's a touchdown.
Yep. But again, it's a little chilly, not really windy, but.
So first down and 10 for the Raiders at the Rail Splitters 12-yard line. Clock is about to start running again with 10:42 remaining. Should be running. There it is. Shuckman wants to throw. Eyeing his receiver. Back corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Raiders on the board once again on a really nice ball from Shuckman to Brennan.
And that's, again, the confidence.
The only thing I would say, Chad, is he tends to stare his receivers down.
He does.
But again,
but that's a young quarterback.
Correct.
That's now here's what we need. We need Mr. Stegman to get back the rhythm, the focus, whatever we need, because we can't afford to give up these points.
So Rowan Stegman in for the extra point, and it is missed poorly.
Yes, not good.
So he's out of the office.
After
That was down the snap, not the kick.
Okay, okay, we'll let that go. got to get
You
this.
tried to tell me I jinxed people. You tried to tell me
I
last week
say that to
I
Urban.
wouldn't be allowed back in the car if I jinxed the game last week.
And that was Mr. Irvin.
No, it was not. It was you. Yeah.
Everyone blames me. It's okay. I've been booed by thousands of people and loved it because guess what? As Ray Hyman always says, if you're winning, they're always going to find something to complain about.
Yeah. So the touchdown pass from Schuckman to Brenner puts the Notre Dame lead to 40-12 for Hunter Schuckman. That is his 7th touchdown pass of the year. Jack Brenner picking up his 3rd receiving touchdown of the year to make it a 40-12 QND advantage with 10 minutes, 34 seconds left.
I'm trying to get an update. Any updates on senior high?
So Brenner will kick, and it's a good one. All the way back to the 10-yard line for Gabe Smith. Stops in his tracks, reverses field. Abel Bearhorse had him, couldn't corral him. Noah Alger does, as does. Looks like Cole Hill did right on the tackle. First and 10, Lincoln.
And again, now the Raider defense needs to come out, shake off the dust, shake off the cobwebs, clear your head. Last series doesn't matter, get a stop. I don't know. 3 and out, 4 and out, get a pick, interception, cause a fumble, get something to get some juice going and get your grind on. You know, get going here because second half the defense hasn't looked nearly as sharp as it has the rest of the season.
This was a 28-0 halftime lead for the Raiders as Bunner this time slips away from the first would-be tackler, pushing his way to a positive gain of looks to be about 4 or 5 yards up to the 32. So 5-yard gain for Bunner. 2nd and 5 for Lincoln. The problem, Chad, with Lincoln, they can't score quick. So it's a hard 28-point deficit to have to come back.
Well, and we saw Hoon run away. Brenner's been able to get separation. I think Raiders are the faster team. You know, the skill position for the Raiders, they match up very well, but I think they are a step or two faster, and that's the difference in the ball game.
On 2nd and 5, handoff goes to Melton. Melton up to the 35, and I think the Raiders will take these 3, 4, 5-yard runs, and this clock just continues to melt away.
And the big thing is, this is what they're going to see in the postseason. You know, there are a lot of 2A schools, smaller schools run the wing T, run the options. So these games is preparation going into the playoffs are a lot of what the Raiders are going to see. And the key to the wing T is execution and getting your opponent to buy into all the fakes you run.
3rd down and 2 for Lincoln at the 35-yard line. Hand off to Melton again, and he's going to get the first down, but a very short yardage, getting up just 4 yards.
And the clock, stop here until we get the chains reset. Get blinded.
First and 10 for Lincoln at the 39-yard line. Now we are at 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this game, and Lincoln has to score 4 more times.
And again, we're kind of seeing the same thing we saw last week. Their offense isn't designed for big scoring plays, so they're not showing a lot of urgency.
Johnston wants to pass. He just throws it up. This should be picked off. Wright Mueller picks it off.
Now, could he do it?
Here he goes into Lincoln territory to the 30, to the 20. Still on his feet to the 10. We have a penalty.
We got a flag. Block in the back. It's coming back.
He does take it in, but there were 2 penalties thrown. Maybe the same player. Looks like at around the 17-yard line is where the flags are.
And again, I think it's a block in the back.
That negates the Mueller pick 6, which would have been about 60 yards.
Which would have been the added to his touchdown collection.
Correct.
Good job, though, Raiders!
So Notre Dame will have the ball after the penalties marked off with good field position with 8:22 left.
And again, that's one of those plays where I don't know. We're on the opposite side. I just saw the flag and kind of saw the guy. It looked like it. Was it a necessary block? Maybe. Does he score without the block? Maybe. But you just get in those situations. And I have the Raiders for 6 penalties for 50 yards.
First down and 10 for Notre Dame at the 27-yard line of the Rail Splitters. Handoff to Triplett, who stops in his tracks and reverses back just a little bit. No gain on the play.
And I kind of like to see Shuckman pull that and run. You know, not necessarily have to gain 20 yards, 30 yards, 10 yards, but just to put that threat of him keeping that ball out there so going forward teams have to be prepared for it. Because if you can freeze that linebacker for a step and give Triplett or Hoon an extra little seam, you know, they're capable of doing big things, especially at the 2A level.
Second and 10 for Notre Dame at the 27-yard line of Lincoln. Clock at 7 minutes, 40 seconds left. Notre Dame leading by 4 touchdowns. Handoff goes to Triplett. Breaks back inside. Has the first down and more. As he gets brought down at the 17-yard line. He needed 10, and he got about 10 and a half. They are going to look at this, and they will give Triplett a first down. Chad made a very poignant statement about a half hour ago and saying this is probably the best 1-2 punch at running back that Notre Dame's ever had.
It's one of them. I mean, there's been so many over the years.
It's hard to say the best ever of anything, isn't it?
It is, and they're just different times. I mean, you know, now, you know, what would Spoonmore have done in a spread offense where they weren't able to really load the box against them?
Right. Shuckman wants to pass, looking towards the end zone. It's incomplete as he kind of threw it behind Dolman, and it was batted down.
Update at the half. Quincy, senior high, 35. Geneseo, 12. Little with 4 more TDs. You know, that offense is just so explosive. And they have so many athletes they can throw at you and so many different things they can do.
Well, you know as well as I do, it's going to come down to the playoff bracket for them.
It's going to be the bracket, and can their O-line block the D-line of some of these 7A powers?
Second down and 10 for the Raiders. Ball spotted at the 17-yard line of Lincoln. Quarterback Shuckman in shotgun. Hands it off to Triplett. Triplett going off left side. Still on his feet. And Triplett into the end zone. Touchdown number 2 for him. Touchdown number 6 for Notre Dame. The lead extended to 47-12. Pardon me. Touchdown number 7 for the Raiders here tonight. And the lead is once again 5 touchdowns.
And how many yards was that? 20?
I had it, I think, at 21.
21.
Stegeman,
come on, kick it in there, son.
Something to get some positive momentum. That should be offside.
That should be offside.
Lincoln's number 1 came flying across the line.
Yeah, now we heard someone in front of us say now he has to re-kick it. He just made it. Now I wonder, can you take this on the kickoff? Are they moving half?
Looks as though they're going to move it halfway, so about at the yard line and a half for Stegeman. So it's about an 18 to 19-yard point after.
We need a good snap, good hold.
Snap is good, hold is good, kick is good. Amazing what happens when the first 2 things go good. Stegeman passes. And it's 47-12 in favor of Notre Dame with 6:51 remaining.
And that's what you want to see. A nice drive, a big play. Triplett just runs through their defense and extends this Raider lead. Under 7 minutes to go. You know, you've taken a couple counter punches, which I think this defense needed. You know, because you don't want to be, you're still fighting yourself. And you've covered sports and been around a lot of teams over the years. You know, I think the one thing that hurts a lot of teams, and it's my biggest fear with the Blue Devils as well, is when you're so dominant and you've been dominant all year, when you get in that gut punch, that fight, and you're not prepared. And I don't mean prepared as in X's and O's and studied, is just having gone through that and having success like the Raiders did at Springfield High. Being down in the second half, getting the ball back in the second.
Renner will kick. Ball at the 40-yard line. Line drive kick that splits the Lincoln receivers, and it goes into the end zone. First down and 10 for Lincoln with 6:51 remaining. Rail splitters will have the ball at the 20-yard line. 47-12. Notre Dame lead. Thanks to all of our sponsors to enable these broadcasts to happen. Thanks to Eric Irvin for allowing me to have a turn at this. He'll be back next week as the Raiders visit Decatur MacArthur. First trip, which I've been told the Decatur MacArthur field is very nice.
I've heard good things, and I've heard a lot of good things around it. Let's see if I can find a score update on they're playing Jacksonville, I believe, tonight.
So Lincoln comes out in their traditional wing T formation. In motion is Quisenberry. Ball's dropped by the first man getting the handoff. There was a quarterback running back exchange that did not go well. Lincoln falls on it, but they lose 5 yards.
It's a shocker. Edwardsville 7, East St. Louis 0 with 6:42 to play in the second quarter.
No, I did say that. I did see it up to 7-7.
Okay, it's been a while on the post.
Clock is approaching 6 minutes here in this contest. Notre Dame well on its way to its 7th consecutive win. We'll try and make it 8 on the road next week, as Lincoln will be forced to win next week at home against Jacksonville to make the postseason. Handoff and going nowhere is the Lincoln running back. Now the ball's loose. I guess it's picked up by Patrick Genenbacher, and they're going to say it's Notre Dame ball. Interesting.
Equals up the
Kudos to Patrick Genenbacher for being Johnny on the spot there and picking up the football.
And if Notre Dame scores, that puts them up by over 40, and we'd have a running clock the rest of the way.
I'm okay with that.
After 1, Decatur MacArthur 7, Jacksonville High School 0. We'll see if
those
there's,
are older
and
scores.
that's an older score. It's after 3, Jacksonville High School 34, Decatur MacArthur 13.
Yeah, so Jacksonville's going to get in with this win, you would assume, with their schedule, with their 5th win tonight. But it does put Lincoln in a grind, in a bind, and that is to try and win against Jacksonville next week to earn its spot in the postseason. Again, there are 3 playoff appearances ever for the Rail Splitters.
There will be some teams that make it in at 4 and 5. However, they're going to be from the bigger, stronger conferences. You're not going to make it in at 4 and 5 with playing teams that don't win a game.
John Venverlo is in at quarterback for this offensive series. The sophomore hands off to another sophomore, Abel Bearhorst, down to the 2. I'll tell you what, this sophomore class at Notre Dame is really good. I think it's a really good football class, more so than any other sport here at 10th and Jackson.
There's a lot of names that are very, very familiar on this Notre Dame roster that played for us over the years. Timeout, Lincoln.
That's correct. When you talk about the sophomore group, Chad, you've got John Denverlow, who's in at quarterback now. You've got Abel Bearhorst, who's in at running back now. You've got a starting offensive lineman in Victor Harsel. You've got a starting linebacker in Cole Hilding. You've got a rotation defensive lineman in Camden Huner. I mean, I could go on and on with some of these guys that, it's a good sophomore class.
And, again, Bemerlo, Harsel, their dads played here.
Yeah.
Dolman played here. Darnell played here. Auger played here. And so many more, up and down the line that it's the one thing I've always said over the years at Notre Dame, it's the same families.
Yeah.
The numbers may change, the first names will change, but you see, there's Genenbachers, there's...
You got Klauser right now on the left tackle. That's another sophomore, Samuel Klauser, who had to have had 5 sacks in the JV game Monday night. Then Verlo will hand off to Abel Bearhorst, and he is basically untouched into the end zone. So Abel Bearhorst adds to the party here tonight, increasing the lead to 53-12. Promising future for number 2.
He's not very big, height-wise. Very solid, very quick, and the one thing I've noticed about him in the limited Junior Raiders and even underclass games I've worked is
Stegeman's kick is
Good.
again good. Making it 54-12. Third touchdown of the sophomore season. Bell Bear Horse.
In Bear Horse, a lot of times when you think of shorter backs, so easier to tackle, easier to take down, he runs hard. He kind of reminds me of Hoon in a little bit, that for not being the tallest kid, runs hard and kind of is difficult to tackle. You know, obviously he's going to get bigger, stronger, faster, but, you know, I remember some junior Raider games where he ran through people that you're like, huh. You know, so a lot of bright.
He's difficult to bring down sometimes. He's got
Yes.
sneaky hard to
Stockiness.
tackle.
Yeah, it's where a lot of shorter people, you think, oh, you just bump them and knock them off their balance, but he's very coordinated and faster than what you think.
We should have, and we will have, a running clock once this kick is kicked off with 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the contest. Quincy Notre Dame 54, Lincoln 12. So Lincoln came out and scored right away in the third quarter, but added a second touchdown later. But the Raiders have had plenty more firepower on this night.
And nice job
Lead by 6 touchdowns.
of nice job by the Raiders of kind of taking that second half punch and knocking it off and coming out and fighting through.
Here's Brenner's kick. Very nicely done. Jack Brenner's had a nice night kicking the football. Lincoln lets it roll into the end zone. And we should have a running clock.
I think they...
Yes, we are getting a running clock from down here.
Yep, started. He's got to wait. Yep, there he goes. He's got to wait for the white guy.
That's correct. A line judge can't tell you to start running the clock.
No. It's and everyone thinks running the clock's the easiest job in the world, and we both have done it, and we both know the truth. You can't do anything, till the guy in charge tells you to wind the clock.
Yeah, we're looking at the white hat for our instructions on what to do.
Yep. So I
really enjoy it. It keeps me in the game, involved. I mean, I enjoy doing clock and scoreboard.
It's fun. It's a good time, and you get to stay active. You get to be at, your son plays, is on the freshman team, dresses up, JV. I don't know if he's on varsity dressing. I don't.
Yes, he is.
There he is. I look down and I see number 7.
Handoff goes to Quisenberry. Stegeman with a really nice one-armed tackle. Talk about his kicking ability. He is a really good defensive player.
Yes.
I think his best spot is at defensive end, but he has been playing a lot of linebacker. But I think his best spot is on the end of the defense.
He needs to get a little bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah. A really good basketball player, really good baseball player as well.
Really good mom and dad.
Not really.
No. Sisters
I'm
of Palmer.
kidding.
Sisters of Palmer.
Very good people. Some of my best friends. They're great people.
There you go.
2nd down and 7. Back to the backup quarterback. That's number 10, Dylan Stevens.
A nice run. And again, this is good experience for the kids. Get out here in the homecoming festivities. All
Anthony Alfonso coming into the game with a much deserved standing ovation. They love Anthony. He's
just one of those kids.
Good kid, good personality.
Junior, senior.
He's a sophomore, playing I think for the first time.
Always love some of those guys that decide they want to come out for football and really buy in, work hard, and just have fun. And you need characters on a team.
You got Samuel Klauser out there right now, as we're just going to mention some of those names that don't typically get announced. As Klauser is in on the tackle.
Nice job filling from the linebacker spot.
Dylan Tyler, great to see him out there, the senior who's battled some injuries this year and is back to full health. He's just getting really dialed in defensively, putting him in there for the extra reps.
And we get under 3 minutes to go in the game here.
Patrick Hindenbacher. I believe that's Abram Zanger in the middle of that defense for Notre Dame right now. 54-12, Raiders lead. We approach the 2.5-minute mark left in this game. Also, number 75, Dawson Stafford, a sophomore in the game. Backup quarterback takes the snap, hands it off to Quisenberry. Gedenbacher tried to shed his block. and brought down out of bounds. Looked as though Stegeman again, for a freshman, has 17 varsity tackles. That's not bad.
That's not too shabby. Final from Williams, 28-21. Bullets top, Maroa Forsyth. So Maroa Forsyth will.
That's not a bad loss for Maroa.
No. It's not a bad loss, but again, as we look forward to the next season, as I call it, the playoffs, now all these games become important. The Devils need to win. They're going to pick up a game tonight for Jacksonville and some of these others, but very important.
Here comes Joseph Dolman. To get a really nice tackle along with number 56, Ben McDonald, the senior.
To get the power points, and I believe QND was ahead in the power points versus Moreau. So if the Raiders, obviously they're taking care of business as we're under a minute 20 to go in this game. Mondays usually the HSA updates their projections. I'll do some work next week on it. But how the playoffs are structured, the higher seed, if you each hosted the same number of games, the higher seed hosts.
That's correct.
So that could be huge for Notre Dame if they're a higher seed over Moreau.
Stevens on a high snap, corrals it, but he's going to be brought down and sacked by Rowan Stegeman. Back to the 25-yard line.
And they'll have to be one more snap unless he really held. I think the guy's doing a great job. The play clock guy waited to line down. And
no need to snap.
No. Yep. As Vanderboer over here, Notre Dame gets the ball. They don't even have to come out. There's turnover on downs, and Notre Dame's not even going to do anything. Well, they're coming out there, but are they going to take a knee? It's seniors' last regular season game.
Yep.
I think all the seniors are out there to take a knee. This is nice job. Make sure we get everyone lined up, or don't even worry about snapping the ball. Just get the seniors out there.
That's going to do it. Very impressive performance for the Raiders tonight. It is their seventh straight in one-sided fashion. Quincy Notre Dame 54, Lincoln 12. Raiders improved to 7-1 on the season. They stay unbeaten against Central State 8 teams in their first season inside the CS8 as Lincoln drops to 4-4 overall and 2-4 against conference opponents. They will host Jacksonville next week with their playoff hopes up for grabs. They have to win that game to have any chance of advancing to the postseason for the second straight year. For Notre Dame, a chance to go to Decatur MacArthur and finish 8-1 and really solidify yourself as one of the teams to beat in Class 2A.
And 7-0 in the Central State 8, which I know, I'm curious for your thoughts. Eric and I talked before the season, seniors coming over here for homecoming and all this stuff. Honestly, being a dad in the program, have been around the program now for years. What did you think of Notre Dame's record and potential coming in? I thought for sure they'd make the playoffs. I thought 7-2, 6-3, which again, not knowing what the Central State 8 returned, but I'm curious.
I think that the season hinged on those first 3 or 4 games.
Yes.
I mean, Quincy High, Richmond Burton, then you've got SHG, those first 3 at home, then you've got a 4th game at home against Southeast. So really kind of if you get somewhere 2-3 wins, you really put yourself in the driver's seat.
If they came out 2-2, and I don't care which 2 they won, which 2 they lost, didn't you have a feeling if they started the season at 2-2, they had a real good chance of running the rest of the games? To go undefeated in the Central State 8, beating a Richmond Burton team that is a traditional power, and I think they've only lost twice on the season coming into tonight.
Richmond Burton's 5-2.
5-2. I thought
Notre Dame's beaten 4 teams with 5 wins or more.
Yes. And
Springfield, Richmond Burton,
SHG,
Quincy High, played.
They played.
Yes.
But
Jacksonville's a 5-win team now.
Yeah,
after winning tonight.
And they could be a 5-win team after next week.
Yeah, correct.
So we're in the we're waiting for Jack to join us on the Country Financial Eric Irvin Coach's Show. We got the player of the game.
Thanks to Double E for allowing me to sit in his rightful presence. Appreciate the opportunity.
Wally Pipp. For anyone who can text me will get a free Eric Irvin Country Company. What do you got that you need to get out of the closet?
Yeah.
Like ice scraper or something we can give away if they know
right.
who Wally Pipp is. A dream date with Marianne where you got to buy it. That's what he says. You got to buy dinner for Marianne. That's what he's giving away if you know who Wally Pipp is.
So the player of the game tonight, I guess we could start with that, Chad. Brought to you by Quincy Recycle. I'll let you award that if you'd like.
I think he set the tone. Both sides of the ball, should have had a pick six for a block in the back is Wyatt Mueller. I mean, the guy has been here all season. Great kid on and off the field. I think the leadership that he and Scott bring to this team just take it another level. No, I
need to go down.
You can go.
You guys,
Yep.
You guys can take over from here.
We'll take it from here. Eric will join me again.
Awesome.
We'll
Thanks
have
for
Jack
having me,
join
Chad.
us. Thank you for everything, Ben. It was a pleasure.
Always, brother.
We've known
Great
each
to see
other.
you.
We've never worked together
That's
until
right.
tonight.
I can't wait to work with you again, but only if his eyes go bad.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not. So joining us for the Eric Irvin post-game coaches show, and Jack will be up here once he finishes up down there. And, I don't know if you saw the final. 28-21. Williamsville finishes off Maroa Forsyth.
So number one goes down in 2A.
Number one goes down in 2A. Bigger things. Notre Dame, and I didn't print it off, Notre Dame was up by a couple power points. So again, for the playoffs, if things go the way they do, Notre Dame could be the higher seed.
Could be, absolutely, absolutely. I do want to thank Mr. Marth for filling in, and that was much appreciated on my part.
And Jack's up here to join us, so if you want to get that plugged in.
All right.
Williamsville was down 14-0. So giving Coach the update, number two goes down, but I thought that second half is going to be key in the next month or so as you keep going. Your defense looked phenomenal, came out, had some slip-ups, had some mistakes, get kind of punched in the gut, and you get another test of what this team is made of, and they answer the call like they've done all year.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the film to see, how well they did in the second half, because it feels like from a coaching perspective, there's just so many plays you leave out there in those situations. It's a long halftime. Obviously, it's homecoming, so you got all the stuff going on with that. It kind of gives us a chance in the locker room to kind of create this lull that we want to avoid, that you don't have in a shorter halftime. So, we obviously got to find a way to come back out in the second half and not have those slip-ups, as you mentioned. But overall, I'm very proud of the way that our guys handled this whole week, handled all the distractions that come with homecoming, and really played a really good football game.
Your team has throughout the season, I think a lot of success. We look at the defense, obviously, but you've got so many contributions, not just on both sides of the ball, but again, you had big returns tonight. You had interceptions, fumble recoveries. You're getting it from really all angles right now.
It was a team game, Eric, and we got a lot of really good football players that really put in a lot of great work during the week and are committed to this process. And it's fun to see, guys go into the ball game and their teammates celebrate each other, and nobody's salty, nobody's got an agenda. Everybody's just out there encouraging one another, and that's what we want to be about. I mean, really, that's what QND is all about. Just this community that we have here is very special, and everybody's in this together, and they love seeing each other have success. And then when it's their time to have success, then they get celebrated.
You've been around this game a long time, obviously. Chad, you have as well. We've seen teams over the years, not necessarily Notre Dame, but just teams that have a lot of talent, but yet don't succeed. You talk about the closeness of this team. How important is that? Not just the fact you got a lot of talent, but the fact they like one another and get along.
It's big, and I can't say they like each other all the time. But, we've got some very competitive practices, and those are a lot of fun to be part of. I mean, these guys are not afraid to push each other when they need to be pushed, but it seems that things are going in the right direction, and we just need to stay the course and keep working hard, staying committed to everything that we're doing. Very proud of the way these guys practice and the way they approach their preparation. We had a really good week of practice this week, and they're just finding ways to get better day in and day out. And I think that, our biggest message is we're not going to be concerned with the results. Like, I couldn't tell you the final scores of many games, and I've forgotten, honestly. I think we scored 57, but I don't even know how many they scored, 12 maybe?
12,
but,
yeah.
We're a process-oriented program. We're going to be concerned with that, and as long as we can do that, then the score will take care of itself.
One thing I keep talking about, and Eric talks, and Ben did the game tonight, the leadership of Mueller, Scott, Hoon, and I'm missing a whole bunch of other guys. What does that mean to you, knowing that you got guys out there that are going to grab their teammates, keep them in line, kick them in the butt during practice, demand? I would say the one thing that this team does that probably is as any team as I've seen here in my time is I think your senior leadership is some of the best that's ever been around.
I would have to agree. Just these guys have played a lot of ball in their time, and they've earned the right to have the voice that they have. And obviously, when they have the production that they have, they can carry themselves even higher. I tell these guys all the time about, my time in Baltimore and what that team was like in 2012. That was a player-driven organization, and that was why we won the Super Bowl, And so those are your best football teams. Those are your best athletic teams overall. When you're a player-driven team, the coaches don't have to get on you quite as much, Those guys take care of a lot of stuff for us, and they probably even take care of a lot of more stuff that we don't even know about, stuff that doesn't even get back to us, but that's just who they are. But those guys have earned the right. You got to be able to walk the walk if you're going to talk the talk.
You've qualified for the playoffs, but you still got one more step. Obviously, you go over to MacArthur next Friday night knowing a win there, and now you've set yourself up for most likely a home playoff game, a high seed. So you still got a lot to play for, regardless of the fact you're already in the playoffs.
Eric, I think you just said a whole bunch of words, but all I heard you say was MacArthur. Honestly, that's all that we're worried about at this point.
Yeah.
I'm going to be praying that we're making good decisions tomorrow night. I hope that these young people have fun. They've earned that, and they deserve that. And I hope that they enjoy Saturday. I hope they rest up Sunday, and I hope they come back on Monday ready to rock and roll, because we got another big week, and we want to close this thing out.
Yeah. Keep them focused. Good luck, and we'll see you in Decatur.
Thank you very much. Go Raiders. Coach
Jack Cornell on the Country Insurance Coaches Show, brought to you by Eric J. Irvin Agency. And, it was weird sitting here or standing here all night and watching the game, not actually being able to do this. But
what did you think of the halftime show? What you picked up? It was a lot of fun.
What I picked up was you and your brother have too much to talk about.
Well, it's always one of those things. It's the one thing, and you have been a part of this and seen it. It doesn't matter who's the head coach. It doesn't matter who the players are. Notre Dame is truly a family, and I think that's the one thing that separates it. I didn't get this announced earlier, but congratulations to the boys golf team for qualifying for state. Bo Eftig, the boys team is currently in 6th.
Yeah.
Bo Eftig is in 5th individually. I don't know what happened to my paper. The QND girls golf team as a team has been eliminated, but I know the Boudreaux girl, and I can't think of the other girl. There's 2 girls that are still alive in the singles. And then in tennis, one of the Notre Dame girls doubles teams advanced. I know there's a Zanger and a Brown, I think are those. And unfortunately, my note was taken, and one girl advanced to singles. So,
yep.
I mean.
And I know boys soccer won today.
Yeah, boys soccer.
Postseason.
Okay, that's good.
Volleyball has high expectations, so good luck to all of them. But one more game left here in the regular season. Notre Dame's going to, again, be a prohibitive favorite next week against the MacArthur team that has struggled throughout the season, lost to this Lincoln team.
Jacksonville was up like 35-12.
Yeah.
They were 7, up 7, tied at 7.
Jacksonville will most likely earn themselves a playoff spot with that win. Lincoln's going to have to beat them next week to have a shot themselves, I think. But the fact is, Notre Dame, we know, 7-1, they're definitely in. You win next week, you're going to get a home playoff game, a high seed, with Maroa Forsyth losing, all of a sudden that 2A bracket gets a little bit tighter.
Well, and the thing I said, and I didn't print it out, but I looked, Notre Dame had more opponents' victories, which are the playoff points,
Right.
than Maroa. Was it a huge advantage? No, but 2 or 3 points, and then you're going to pick up one next week. Lincoln plays Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one. I don't know the other schools playing off the top of my head.
Sacred Heart, I think, is playing Rochester, so that's
So
no
that'll
give
be a
me.
battle. But, you know, there's the more wins. You know, the Devils go to Jeff City. They were up big at the half. I think they're going to win that game. You know, it all is working together where, you know, playing here at 10th and Jackson special. I don't know. It's always been special to me. You know, there's a lot of things, and Coach is doing a great job keeping these guys focused, and they do have a very business-like attitude. They like to have fun afterwards, but it's all business. I think tonight, you know, that second half, that kind of gut check they had to do, you know, is going to show up again in the playoffs, where they never got flustered, they never got crazy, they didn't start pointing fingers, they just knuckled down and made plays.
Well, again, big win tonight for Notre Dame as they win it 54-12 here over Lincoln. 7-1 now in the season, and we'll be back on the air next Friday night. I'm planning on being there. For those that didn't know, I had a little medical situation with one of my eyes, and thought it best not to do the game tonight as I don't see on the field too well right now. But hopefully everything will be cleared up a little bit better, and we'll definitely be over at MacArthur next week, bringing you the action here on the Raider Sports Network. So for Chad Dusterhouse, for Ben Marth, again, thank you, Mr. Marth, for filling in. I'm Eric Irvin. You've been listening to Raider Football on the home for QND Sports, the Raider Sports Network. Good night, everybody.
Buddy.
this is one of those games that they were talented enough that if you didn't take it serious, they could have given you fits.
Well, it's a game that
Right.
how they do things. You know, like you said, if you don't do it the way it needs to be done.
Yeah. No, I think that's where it's hard to come down.
I just lost it. I also got the one at the Gatorade not today.
Oh, that was nice.